studios of San Antonio Sports Star, reaching more sports fans than any station in South Texas. Welcome to the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome into the Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star. I'm AJ, joined, as I'm almost always joined, unless you go at the sniffles.
Hey, that was a week ago, and I'm still dealing with it. Get off my ass. I'm sorry.
By my good friend, Mr. Rob Thompson. Hello, Rob.
Good morning, sir.
Sound like you need another day off.
I'm in the midst of an equipment failure. I'm back. I'm here.
All right, everything gonna be all right?
My earpiece fell apart as I was at insertion, AJ. It was right at insertion.
It crumbled.
It, just went soft. I don't know. Fell apart. And we all have our issues. Good morning, sir.
How are you, man?
I'm good. I'm proud to be an American today.
Of course. And
we did a very American thing last night and went Americans' way. If you voted that way, if you didn't, doesn't matter. Onward and upward, my friends.
I always tell people, most people, this isn't for everybody, but most people, when you wake up the day after an election, whether the person you wanted to win won or lost, your life doesn't usually change that drastically.
No, it won't. I think we should all, there's a big percentage today waking up upset, and there's big that are happy. We did an American thing. And we managed, I think, to do it in a very American way. So I think at the very least, it might be the least, but it is something worthy. And the people have spoken, so I'm listening.
Am I understanding this right, that the popular vote went to Trump?
Trump carried the popular as well. So, I mean, no finer mandate. So whatever your thoughts are, the majority won. So the price will be paid and the benefits reaped for those that are concerned.
Yeah, I certainly didn't see that coming, but I do believe this is what is now open to us. I think now we can say, let's get rid of the Electoral College.
Well, we've come a long way with it. It's going to be very difficult to change, but I do think there's some very strong arguments that it might be worthy consideration, or at least modifying to some extent. Historically,
Republicans favor the Electoral College over Democrats because Republican votes usually happen in the middle of the country. Like more they usually carry those states. Right. And Democrats are along the coast in the more populous areas. Now that a Republican has won the popular vote, because usually if you say get rid of the popular vote, it's either sour grapes or you're trying to get a Democrat in there. Me, as someone who I don't affiliate with a party, I just think the idea that someone in North Dakota's vote counts twice what mine doesn't make sense.
It doesn't, but it should. I think because it does that, it makes it very difficult, for lack of a better term, to turn the battleship. And radical change in our country is difficult to come by, and for good reason. We want to be here for the long run. We don't want to vary to one extreme to the other. And in instances like this, where we have skewed very, very left about 12 years ago and have gone very, very right about 12 years later, here we sit. So it's working. I mean, we've varied, but we haven't gone too far in either direction, and there's always a correction. And I don't want to ever be in a situation where we make short-term radical decisions that affect us in a long-term way, and that's the check and the balance seems to work. Now, I'm not saying it shouldn't be modified. I'm not saying that the population should be more accountable. We should be able, and that's good and bad. But I do think that it's worthy of consideration. But here we sit, America. We did it. I don't expect there'll be too many triggers pulled or anything like that. And, that was a bit of a fear. And thank goodness we, again, regressed back to what we would expect, a free and fair election. Yep. It looks like we got.
And like I said, or like you said, half the people are upset today, half the people are happy. But for most of you, Life ain't changing.
No, not too much. But
Life ain't
on the
changing.
other side, it sounds like everybody got a chip in the game. Looks like a lot of people voted. And then if you got a chip
Which is a
in the
good thing,
game,
man.
yes, that's good,
To me,
bad, or
it's-
indifferent.
Yeah, you
The only
want.
problem is the people that didn't like the way I did voted. And I don't like that.
Yeah,
I thought you would vote my way,
yeah,
whatever that way is.
yeah. I want you to vote, but I want you to
Just
vote.
vote my way. If you don't vote
Person
my
I'm
way,
voting.
what are you doing? You should have stayed at home.
Which actually it looks like Nevada is still one of the undecided states.
I'm not surprised.
Where I voted, which at this point it doesn't matter. So now, I'm thinking in Nevada, oh, my vote's in a battleground state. It really matters.
Well, it does.
Well, now it doesn't.
Well, it did.
No, the election's decided, and my state's not even done counting.
Well, that's true.
So
that's
it doesn't.
true.
It literally doesn't
But
count.
there are other things you voted on other than the president. Your vote mattered. I promise.
Yeah, but now it's in a state where I don't live.
Well, that was
So you know what I mean. I voted there, and for the future of a place that I have no future in.
Well, I hope you voted well, or maybe you should have voted poorly. Maybe you
should've
should have
just-
voted for the least best option, just to screw them on the way out the door.
What is going to make my property more valuable in the next 6 months?
Yeah.
Is the
I think, given my brief and amateurish look at history, I think things about to get pretty good.
all right?
I think there's a lot of people waking up this morning looking at their balance and thinking it's going to be probably a little higher this time next year.
Listen.
Right?
Bitcoin, big day for Bitcoin. I know you don't believe it. I don't really believe in Bitcoin either. I have some.
Yeah. My balance went up too.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I got paid in Bitcoin for about 6 months of influencing work, which was basically like just making social media posts. And I got like $300 a month for 6 months.
See, somebody promised me that, and I'm an old man. I am. I admit. There are some things that the next generation is doing, which I'm all for. I just won't. And someone would have offered me that. It'd be like, you want me to do what? And you're going to pay me in what? Pixie dust? What are you giving me? Pixie dust?
Now, he gave
These
me
magic beans I'm going to get paid in?
this was for a sports book.
And, I've done stuff like that, but I've always asked for something that was real money.
I had 3 choices. I could either take $300 of Bitcoin, $300 in a check, or $500 of site credit. And I said,
I don't want the site credit because that's just giving it back
That's
to
a
you.
crap.
Yeah, that's giving you back. That's a marker that I'm going to give back, so that's out.
Yeah.
so I just said, I mean, do I?
I agree.
Even the
I'm not-
hassle of going
I-
every month for
I
a
am
$300
not
check. It's
belittling
like,
what you did. I'm not. It's just as in my age, even when in the time frame that you said you did it, if someone would have come to me 5 years, especially 10 years ago, and said, "Hey, I want you to do this, and I'm going to pay you in this thing called Bitcoin," and it's this thing, and even after it had explained to me, I'd have been, "So you're paying me in magic beans?"
yes,
Yep.
Oh,
but
okay.
my magic beans have sprouted
They
a stalk
have.
now.
I'm not saying they shouldn't. That's just a
That
place that I have,
$1,800 is like
I have-
over $20K now.
I have
Yeah,
willfully
see?
stayed ignorant from because I can't afford the whims
I get
of
it.
some weird dude in Malaysia waking up
And-
and going, "I'm dumping it all."
That's why I've never given real money that I had in my pocket and said, "Hey, turn this into Bitcoin." But
Oh, yeah.
this was found money.
But
You know
see,
what I
my
mean?
advice is anybody who's found this Bitcoin that's starting to get some value, at some point it goes from play money to something tangible that you can literally do something with. And finding that point, to me,
You could buy
for a guy
car
your
with
age,
it.
I'm going to
is
buy
gonna
a
be
Cybertruck.
Yeah.
But,
With Bitcoin.
I think there would be no better purchase.
Yeah. Makes sense.
A Cybertruck.
I'm buying a lime green Cybertruck.
Get them now because they're about to get a little bit more expensive. The incentive to get the that's the other thing. I never quite got Elon Musk infatuation with the current political structure, but then I got it. He read the wave. He's protecting his
Yes.
vehicle because electricity and all the benefits that have been kind of either forced upon us or available to us, depending on your point of view, that's about to go away, brother. All those incentives. Let's burn some coal, baby. Let's drill some oil.
Yeah. But Elon, he's in a tax bracket where
Well, he's still got to sell cars.
He's in his own town.
And those
Yeah.
kickbacks for batteries and electric that we like when we want to go buy an electric, those are going away, brother.
Yeah.
Those incentives, that's all gone.
but he'll make it back in tax savings.
That's why I never
And in
got
his
the
rocket
infatuation.
ships, I bet we'll buy a rocket ship or two from him, and all's well.
Well, I think what'll end up is it'll be we're going to tax everything and except Teslas.
Yeah,
I think that's what's
probably
going to
what it'll
happen. You'll still get the incentive.
Hey, listen, everybody's getting something for no matter.
Yeah, man. I think for those of us who've been around for a minute or two, I think we're about to have a little bit of fun.
Yep. So the new United States starts January 1, I believe.
Yeah, something. Well,
or somewhere around there.
Yeah.
January 20th.
Something. It'll be a little bit after.
Okay.
First.
But there you have it. That's that's the extent of our political
now
talk.
the things that really affect us on the day to day.
The thing that mattered the most yesterday, the college football playoff was announced. We'll address that. I think around 7:30 I want to get into it a little bit deeper, but we'll at least go over the teams that are in, the teams that are on the outside looking in. We'll do that next. We're going to talk the trade deadline today.
Yep.
That happened yesterday, particularly about the Dallas Cowboys and
the Spurs. Man.
If you had told me yesterday morning when we started the show, I could think less of the Dallas Cowboys today than I did yesterday, I would have never believed you.
Oh, welcome to fandom. Welcome to living in the Cowboys universe. You think it's bad today? Wait till tomorrow.
What a dopey team this is. Very sad that you Vic walking around in a jersey. You should be embarrassed.
What?
You should be embarrassed to be a Cowboys fan. It's incredibly embarrassing right now.
I told you earlier this year that it wasn't their year. Remember, you asked me, what do you think about the Cowboys? Like, I don't feel it this year.
Okay. When's the last time you felt it?
I don't know. It's been a long time.
It's like the mid-'90s?
Yeah,
I was really
probably.
feeling it in the mid-'90s.
Yeah, I was in the military, I think, when I last felt it.
Oh, you felt it in September. Don't lie. Every Cowboy fan felt it.
No, every Cowboy fan feels it
don't
every
plead
September.
ignorance. There's a reason why this is sustained for 30 years, because every year we buy into it.
Suckers.
Of course.
And it happened yet again. The worst thing about this, and we'll talk about it all day long, is you get the sense that they believe that they're the smartest guys in the room, that they legitimately believe that they're doing something that is right. It's like you're talking with a junkie. Like, you get that you're ruining your life, right? You get that everything you're doing, and they look at you like, no, you're the one that doesn't get it. Like, what? They're trading for a wide receiver. They just rearranging deck chairs, baby. That's what we're doing. But they believe they see something we don't.
I guess there's one more political thing to discuss. The former pro athletes running for Senate did not go well. Obviously here in Texas, former Titans linebacker Colin Allred is not going to be a senator.
And it wasn't even close. I mean, he wasn't even Beto.
In Minnesota, Royce White, who is a diagnosed...
He's had some issues, man.
Yeah, he's...
Can't fly. You can't get on a plane.
A mentally unstable person loses his bid for a Senate seat in Minnesota. And former All-Star Steve Garvey was...
Orange County Steve Garvey?
Running as a Republican in California to be a senator, where no Republican has held a Senate seat since the 80s. He also came up short. So good try, but it just didn't work out for the former athletes in this election cycle. Steve Garvey.
I knew he was. I didn't know he was still a viable human being. I didn't think he was dead, but I didn't know he was.
Yeah, he is a Republican former Senate candidate.
Well, I just remember as a kid, Garvey was like Popeye, biggest forearms I'd ever seen.
Yeah, he was a stud.
That wasn't enough to be. You'd think he'd just flex and get elected.
You would think, but
he got my vote.
He conceded last night, and he said, "You know what?
Tough news.
Together, there's no challenge we cannot overcome."
Let's get busy. We got stuff to do and commercial breaks to fill. I don't know.
Let's do it.
We got no. I'm talking about just on our daily lives. What am I going to do without the political commercials? I'm going to miss those.
When my phone buzzes, who's it going to be?
I know. I'm no more text.
Who's going to text me now?
No, I'm going to get a few today.
Who's going to call me now?
No, you're going to get a few today. Well, it didn't go well. We blame you.
Do you think anybody will offer refunds
No, but
for any leftover campaign
but
funds?
I can tell you this, and this is just a warning, and this is fact, that if you have at any point donated to any of the mini Trump things, you want to go make sure that they did not sign you up for a monthly when you thought you were just giving once.
Oh.
I think the number of complaints to the BBB and other institutions regarding the donations that we thought were just weekly or once.
The battle's just begun. We still need your dollars.
I just say, no matter who you donated to, make sure you did it just once if that's what you wanted.
All right, we'll be back. Big day today. It's the Morning Huddle on 94.1.
With Dr. Jacob Torres. Last week, in fact, he was in the studio coming to record some of his fine messages, and we were talking about general healthcare kind of questions. And one of the great things about Dr. Torres being my general practitioner, my physician, is also he began as my weight loss doctor about 8 years ago. See, the thing about the Institute for Functional Health is it's more than just a weight loss or an aesthetic kind of physician practice. It is a full service practice. They handle rehab work, weight loss, other great things. And when your doctor has that kind of access to so many different things, it's just good to have him around. Now, I first met him weighing about 300 pounds. And when I talked to him the very first time and explained to him all those many things that I thought was that I needed to have fixed, he was like, you start losing weight, we're not going to have to deal with those other things. Your blood pressure is going to go down. You're going to sleep better. You're going to start losing weight, and suddenly your digestion is going to be better, and all those aches and pains you're feeling in your hips and your knees, that's going to get better because you're not carrying around all that weight. So all those complaints you have, let's address those after you drop 20 pounds. He talked me into losing weight. Some of y'all don't need to be talked into it. You're ready to go. And what's made him successful with me and will be for you is that he put together a plan that only fits me, and he'll do the same for you. That's why his list of patients goes on, and how many of them can you hear, like me, we're still going to see a weight loss physician 8 years later that it can live with what they've got. I'm down 80 pounds. He's changed my life. If you want that, the number is 210-288-2693. Give that number a call. Or go to iffhealth.com. Let me tell you, if you go there, answer the questions that he asks. It'll change your life. And when he does, come by and thank me later.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star traffic from News Talk 550 KTSA.
Good morning. We are working a trouble spot on Loop 410 westbound right as you approach Harry Wurzbach. This wreck has got the roadway reduced to one lane. Just occurred, so about 5 minutes or so of a delay slow from Starcrest. Still have that ongoing overnight road work with the roadway reduced to just one lane on 35 northbound, Judson up to Tupperwine, and then southbound between FM 3009 on down to 1604. I'm Debbie Alcacer, KTSA, Time Saver Traffic.
What's that? 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, South Texas home of the NFL. Monday night, Thursday night, and Sunday night football. Presented locally by Flight by Yingling, the next generation of light beer. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
This report is sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Looking for a career you'll love with flexibility, great pay and benefits, and one of the country's top workplaces? Join their growing team. Go to progressive.com/careers and apply online today. That's progressive.com/careers.
Progressive knows finding your new home was a dream come true. You wanted it close to town with a picture window overlooking a yard. And you found it. Now when you sit down to dinner, you've got front row seats too. Your neighbor's daily pickleball game. Progressive can't save you from your noisy neighbors, but we can save you money when you bundle your home and auto with us. Get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers not available in all states.
Guys, Underdog is the place to play if you're a sports fan looking to win money while you're watching sports. They've got all your favorite leagues, teams, and stars to choose from. You think Dak is going to have higher or lower yards than his stat coming up in this game? You can make money off that opinion at Underdog. Create entries with football, basketball, mix and match. You can do it all. They've even got college sports as well. I've been playing a lot of those college props. I think there is some money to be made in those deals. This week on Underdog, I'm looking at the Spurs. I'm going Wemby to go over on his rebounds. And guys, again, every sport is available on here. It's a blast, and it just makes the games more interesting. This season, they're running a special promo or bonus almost every single day. Profit boost, discounts, free picks. They're basically a sure thing. A player has to get higher than a half a point to get the win. All new users get a free pick. Download the app, sign up with the promo code Alamo, deposit now, and get up to $1,000 in bonus cash immediately. That's promo code Alamo. Must be 18 or older. Present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org.
TSAOG Orthopedics and Spine is excited to announce a partnership that is revolutionizing access to care for orthopedic patients. The HURT app provides free 24/7 access to orthopedic expertise. HURT is the app to have before you need it. Don't wait for an injury to happen. Download HURT now for free, fast virtual access to orthopedic specialists. The HURT app is available online in the App Store and Google Play. Learn more about the HURT app and the OrthoNow Injury Clinic at tsaog.com.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-230-2777. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-230-2777. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-230-2777. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-230-2777, 800-230-2777, or biglou.com.
Everywhere you look, things are getting more expensive. So at Consumer Cellular, we're lowering the price for those 50 and up. Now you can get unlimited talk, text, and data for $30 a line when you buy 2. That's just $60 a month for 2 unlimited lines. So if you're 50 and up, make the switch and save. Come on, you've earned this. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com today. Requires 2 lines of service, age validation, and credit approval, subject to system and area limits, taxes, and other fees apply.
Robinhood is introducing forecast contracts so you can trade the presidential election. Through Robinhood, you can now trade financial derivatives contracts on who will win the U.S. presidential election, Harris or Trump, and watch as contract prices react to real-time market sentiment. Each contract you own will pay $1 on January 8th, 2025 if that candidate is confirmed as the next U.S. president by Congress. Learn more about the presidential election contracts on Robinhood at robinhood.com/election. The risk of loss in trading commodities interest can be substantial. You should therefore carefully consider whether such trading is suitable for you in light of your financial condition. Restrictions and eligibility requirements apply. Commodity interest trading is not appropriate for everyone. Displayed prices are based on real-time market sentiment. This event contract is offered by Robinhood Derivatives, a registered futures commission merchant and swap firm. Exchange and regulatory fees apply. Learn more at robinhood.com/election.
Dallas Cowboys head coach Mike McCarthy goes one-on-one with the Morning Huddles, AJ and Rob, Friday mornings.
You invited Dak and Coop over to the house. What mama cooked?
She never disappoints.
Well, what was the meal? We're really curious.
Well, she had the local pizza, salads, pasta dish chicken.
Mike McCarthy's unfiltered look at the Cowboys' upcoming game. Friday mornings at 6:45 and 9. Presented by AA Best Bail Bonds on 94.1. San Antonio's Sports Star. It's the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
College football playoff, the first iteration of the rankings is out. And it went about as according to plan, or according to what we thought it would look like as it could have. We talked about this yesterday, and it's about that. 4 Big Ten teams, 4 SEC teams, 1 each from the ACC and the Big 12, a G5 team, and Notre Dame.
Yep.
And my guess is, barring some major shift, that's what it's going to end up as.
There won't be these teams,
You're right,
but
the conference, I
do agree.
I think the one possibility is, if SMU beats Miami, you might have 2 ACC teams. But other than that, I think we're probably set with 4 and 4, and you know,
I do think
I think that's honestly the best thing, because they're the best conferences. That's what I want to see, right?
I think if the Big Ten will lose 2 teams.
Okay.
I'm not sure if Penn State loses, and they will. They won't be in it. And I don't know how much love Indiana's going to get because they got a couple of tough ones, and if they lose one and look bad at another, they might be out too, and that might open the door to another ACC team like SMU or Boise or one of the non-power Washington State. It could open the door for. But I get the sense that those two might not be the ones that are there in the end, just because
Penn State's not losing again.
Yeah, you never know. I wouldn't put it past them. If they don't, they deserve to be there. I do think they're in the right place today. I just think that voters, this committee, is not looking for reasons to keep them. They're looking for reasons to drop them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And if you give them a reason, you're gone.
They have Washington this weekend. They're at Purdue, at Minnesota, and home against Maryland. And honestly, the best thing that could have happened to them was that they lost to Ohio State, which means that Penn State's not going to play in the Big Ten title game, which gives them one less opportunity to lose a big game. So they'll be there, and whoever they play will probably beat them because it's a big game. But
I do think voters are now aware of this title game. You don't want to get there and lose. You're not going to. I think there's more to be gained to going than losing for losing. You know what I mean?
I'm curious
I don't think
how
they're going to count that much against you anymore.
It shouldn't, but I worry that it will for some teams, some of these borderline teams.
And right now with 12, it might need to count more than it used to. I'm not sure really because I do want the hot teams in the 12. I don't want the one legit, the ones that earned it. You know, when it was only going to be 4. You earned it, and you didn't want to just take the hot team. You wanted to take the team that was worthy all the way through. With 12 teams, shoot, let's take a hot one, that might not have the best record but is looking good now, better than they did 3 months ago. And that might be the worst thing that happens to Indiana that looked really good and has earned it. But you look good. You lose the last 30 seconds of a round in a ring in a boxing match. You lost the round. Whether you won the first minute and a half or 2.5 minutes, you lose the last 30, the vote goes against you.
All right, when we discuss this later on at 7:30, we'll get into more of where Texas sits, where Texas A&M sits, and maybe a sneaky way to plant your flag on one side or the other, because I would say with 90% certainty, only one of those two teams will be in the playoff, and there's an interesting angle that I found that I think is maybe an opportunity in the water. When we come back, I want to talk about this Joel Embiid thing. The NBA suspending Joel Embiid for 3 games. We'll discuss that. We'll discuss if it's warranted, if that's enough. But we'll do that next. It's Morning Huddle 94.1.
What are we, about 2.5 weeks away from Thanksgiving? We're almost there. And if you haven't taken care of your turkey, I got your answer. Tri-County Meat Market's getting those Barber Farm turkeys back in town. They're all coming from Colorado. They're all natural. They come from 8 to 24 pounds. And to get one that has never been frozen, it's come to you fresh. You don't have to worry about any of that. You need to call them. You need to go ahead and reserve it right now. Here's the number for the Huebner Road Tri-County Meat Market. It's 474-6872. That's 210-474-6872. If you want to get one of those turkeys, you need to call and reserve it to make sure it's available for you for pickup. And they're going to have them for you until they run out. They always do. So you might want to get on the phone and call them as soon as you can when they open up this morning at 9 o'clock. Now, that's the reason to plan for Thanksgiving, but, there's days before and after Thanksgiving. That's why I love going to Tri-County. Now, you're probably going to smoke a turkey, and maybe you're going to need a special pellet, maybe something different. They've always got that for you. Looking for charcoal, they've got the very best available. They're a one-stop shop. But a great meal always starts with a great meat coming out of Tri-County. So maybe your thing ain't a big turkey. Maybe it's one of those beautiful roasts that you need to have tied off. Maybe it's something you need cut specific for a big family. That's why you go to Tri-County. They got the best meat for you. Maybe your tradition is a Friday steak after a Thursday turkey. I don't know. And go to Tri-County. This week, big football games. Put the right stuff on the grill. Always head over to Tri-County for one reason only. The specials are always there, but the 5 for 25 is the reason, or 5 for 30 is the reason you walk in the door. 5 items, $30. It is the best deal in San Antonio. I promise you. Go try it one time. There's 2 meals in that bag. That's Tri-County Meat Market, 2 locations. Huebner, Ralph Fair. Go with some good meat on the grill. Come by and thank me later.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star traffic from News Talk 550 KTSA.
Good morning. We are working a trouble spot on Loop 410 westbound right as you approach Harry Wurzbach. This wreck has got the roadway reduced to one lane. Just occurred, so about 5 minutes or so of a delay slow from Starcrest. Still have that ongoing overnight road work with the roadway reduced to just one lane on 35 northbound, Judson up to Tupperwine, and then southbound between FM 3009 on down to 1604. I'm Debbie Alcacer, KTSA, Time Saver Traffic.
Not all pizza places are the same. Mellow Mushroom originated hand-tossed, stone-baked classic Southern pizza. Not in the mood for pizza? Order a calzone, hoagie, sandwich, burger, or a mellow salad and see how care goes into every item on the menu. Take your pick from 24 draft beers and or handcrafted cocktails. And many of the pizzas can be made gluten-free or vegan. Mellow Mushroom is at 1604 in Stone Oak Parkway. Hang with friends, watch the game, and mellow out at Mellow Mushroom.
This report is sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Progressive Insurance offers a great price and round-the-clock protection when bundling home and auto. It's one of those rare times where you could save money and get something great. Bundle today at Progressive.com. That's Progressive.com.
The 149th Fighter Wing of the Texas Air National Guard is hiring both full and part-time positions with over 180 different career choices, including cyber, healthcare, communications, avionics, electronics, and more. The Texas Air National Guard offers a variety of ways you can serve. Earn education benefits that would cover tuition towards a bachelor's degree. To learn more, Google the 149th Fighter Wing. That's the 149th Fighter Wing of the Texas Air National Guard.
The Gomez Law Firm is proud to be San Antonio's trusted personal injury law firm for the past 50 years. We have Jose with the Gomez Law Firm here with us. Your firm has been fighting for the people of San Antonio since 1973. That's incredible.
There are not a lot of businesses that stick around for even 50 years, let alone personal injury law firms.
If you have been injured in an accident or hit by a company vehicle, then turn to the law firm that will fight for you. Visit joegomezlaw.com.
And remember, Gomez Law Fights.
Sunday, November 10th is the epic return of Yellowstone, and it's only on Paramount Network. Generations of blood have led to this, and nothing will prepare you for the must-see premiere event, the epic return of Yellowstone. Sunday at 8, 7 Central, only on Paramount Network.
Some people just know they could save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like you know to check the propane tank on your grill first, before hosting a tailgate.
Let's fire up. Here, let me try. Seriously? You didn't check the propane? Who wants chips?
Yeah, checking first is smart. So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds.
Salt and vinegar?
You're in good hands with Allstate.
Savings vary, subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation and a regular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduced stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop taking prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. It may increase your stroke risk. Eliquis can cause serious and in rare cases fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or take longer for bleeding to stop. A spinal injection while on Eliquis increases risk of blood clots, which may cause paralysis, the inability to move. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding, unusual bruising, or tingling, numbness, or muscle weakness. Medications such as aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners may increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
This is Jason Minix, and you're listening to the home of the Texas Rangers, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Morning Huddle 94.1. Joel Embiid suspended for 3 games by the NBA for shoving a columnist. It's Marcus Hayes is the guy's name that got shoved. This was after Saturday's game, and Joel Embiid was offended because the guy wrote a column that I think talked about his some family issues.
He lost his younger brother died in a car accident.
Yep.
When he was a rookie, and also brought up his son.
Right. So very personal things, and then kind of used that to question why Joel's not in shape when the season comes up. And Joel Embiid said, next time you bring up my dead brother and my son again, you're going to see what I'm going to do to you, and I'm going to have to live with the consequences. Which, that's a... And now Hayes apologized for the comments, which were removed from the final column, or it's like one of those things like where it goes out and then it's like, oh, we're gonna change it. Yeah, it's out.
Yeah, you can the retraction's always on page 6.
Now, from a standpoint of on the court, Embiid hadn't played a game this year, so this isn't going to hurt the Sixers on the court, but it is going to hurt him in the pocketbook. He's going to cost him a little over $1 million because he doesn't get a game check for 3 games. But the hope is that Joel Embiid will be back after this 3-game suspension and maybe be able to play some basketball. Philly just played Monday night, and lost to the Suns in the debut of Paul George this season.
What do you think would happen if Embiid was in the NFL? And he did the same thing.
I honestly think he would be suspended for the year.
What do you think would happen to him if he was in baseball? And
probably the same.
You think he'd be suspended for the year?
Well, maybe not the full year for baseball, but the NFL, I don't think there's no doubt to me that he would be suspended for a year.
I get that sense. No league gets more involved in your personal life than the NBA. I mean, Adam Silver is universally considered the best commissioner for a lot of reasons, but this, what Embiid did was wrong, and he's being punished a little bit. He's being punished in a way that I find interesting because this has nothing to do with a fight on the court.
No,
this has nothing to do. And what was said it went a little far, man. I would be a little mad too. Like the article had to say, like you've always said you're doing things for your brother, but you're showing up fat and your dead brother would care. I mean, it was kind of like that. You're like, dude, that's a little far.
Yeah,
I get that. And I think it's I don't want to play. I'm out of shape. The whole Olympic debacle where they had, he was the highest bidder. He played for us because we paid him the most, and he didn't show up in shape and wasn't ready to play. So and now the season's here, and he's still not in shape, ready to play. And he finished last season injured and never really got into shape. So he doesn't show up for work, and he's kind of malingering in some people's eyes. And then this happens. I think the league kind of is like, you know what, you're going to have to get in line.
Yeah. Did you see the shove?
I haven't seen the shove at all.
I haven't either.
I don't know what it was like, and I can't imagine a 7'2" dude coming down on a newspaper writer. It probably was it was too much. I agree. But I think this is more about he's atoning for past sins, and this was the last straw kind of thing.
I think so, too. But it's also like, I don't know. So you can't put your hands on people. You just can't. You can't do it.
He went too far.
But also, that's the thing. There's not going to be any kind of pushback on this reporter, really. Like, in the reporter,
I think the league, at least his union, should say, "Whoa! I mean, there's a line you don't cross, man, and that you crossed the line." So I don't think you can justify any physical act. You can't justify it. But I can lay the groundwork for, dude, you do this, you're not allowed in the locker room. What about suspending this cat for 3 games? You're not in the locker room because you can't do that to my players either.
Yeah. And as a columnist, rather than a beat guy, I doubt he's in the locker room anyway.
I don't know.
But what you can do is just say you're not in the building. You don't have access.
Yeah, and anything that you hear from this cat, at least for the next 2 weeks, we'll ensure it's not from us.
Yeah.
You're just not allowed to cover us because you've taken it too far.
Puts everybody in a really weird spot. But yeah, you just can't. You can't put your hands on reporters.
Man, can you imagine, man? Because that's a big dude.
Joel Embiid's a big person.
I mean, one of the biggest humans you'll ever see.
And almost every newspaper writer, like when I think of a newspaper writer, I think of like a very tiny guy who's got a notepad, and like it's
big dude like Embiid coming down on you. That'll change your life.
But it's also we are in that age now where people just think people say whatever they want to say behind a computer screen, and it's like Mike Tyson. Remember when on the airplane when Mike Tyson finally dude was talking all that noise, and Mike Tyson just whooped his ass and was like, "I'll deal with the consequences." Like this cost Joel Embiid $1 million. He probably doesn't feel that bad about it. He's probably like, well, you know, I should have knocked him down if it was gonna cost me $1 million. Sure, I should have slapped him.
And I don't know this cat in Philly, the writer. I don't know his history. I don't know his bona fides. I don't know what he's like in the Philly news circles. But his editor let him write that. His editor let him put that in the paper. Yeah. I mean, there was some complicitness to this. It wasn't. If he didn't know it was coming, he should have as the editor. So it makes me think there might be a deeper fight here, not only with this writer but this paper. You know, they just feel like these guys have it out for us.
I don't know. I've never been to Philly, but is the Philadelphia Inquirer the big newspaper there? Is it a two-paper
honestly,
town?
I don't pretend to know. I know that the Inquirer seems to be the paper of record, but I don't know if there's another competitor. But right now they're competing with guys like us and other digital outlets. I mean, it's still cutthroat. But I think he went too far, and there'll be no penalty for that.
Looks like, yeah, the Inquirer's a daily newspaper. It's the daily newspaper.
Because I guess you got the Jersey papers on the other side of the river that probably play a role too. But.
Third longest continuously operating daily newspaper in the U.S. Yeah, it's the one. But. Yeah, there's got to be some kind of pushback on this guy and probably his editor too. It's not a good look
because Embiid was clearly wrong. I'm not justifying anything.
Everybody's wrong in this situation.
But for the NBA, it just seems rather severe for a dude that's not even playing. Like, you know, even when you are playing, you're not even going to play a back-to-back. Is that our understanding?
How you going to get fired on your day off?
Yeah, that's exactly it. So go sit your ass down and pay us $1 million and get yourself right, man. Go get in shape.
All right. Let's hit a break. We'll come back, wrap up hour number 1 of the huddle. Like I said, we got way more to talk about. Trade deadline stuff coming up at 7 o'clock. We'll dig into that college football playoff a little bit more. We got some Spurs news to discuss. And, those Cowboys. We'll be on them as well. I got to tell you guys about Underdog Fantasy. And I play this. I pretty much have an underdog lineup every night now. Just gives me some skin in the game where I probably wouldn't care about some games otherwise. Just makes them a little more exciting. And it's so easy. It's so easy. You just take higher or lower on a player's stat. They set the stat. You say if you think the player is going to have higher or lower than that number, and you're on your way to making money. And with the double flex option, you can take 2 losses and still win. That happened to me last night. I had 7 players. 5 wins, 2 losses, still made a little bit of money. I mean, that's hard to beat. And, guys, they're running a special, a promo, or a bonus almost every single day. Profit boost. You can pump up your winnings just a tap when you apply the boost to eligible entries. Discounts on a certain player's projections. You can hack 6-7 yards off of these numbers. And then sometimes there's just free picks, and it's like, will X player have over a half yard passing? Will he have higher than a half a yard? Yeah, probably so. He's the starting quarterback. Download the app, sign up with the promo code Alamo, deposit now, get up to $1,000 in bonus cash instantly. That's promo code Alamo. You got to be 18 or older, present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org.
If you missed the Blitz with Jason and Joe, then you missed this.
That's one ugly-ass elbow. Yeah, hey, turn around and there's Joe. Show the people that are watching on YouTube right now. Tell
Big night on my
25 years in TV and you don't know how to perform in front of a camera.
Well, I've never showed my elbow on TV like that.
Glad you said elbow.
Or anything else. Look, I was young and I needed the money, all right?
Right home with the Blitz. Afternoons 2 to 6 on 94.1. San Antonio's Sports Star.
If you needed one more reason to choose Diamonds Direct over any other jeweler, get this. Diamonds Direct maintains involvement in the entire diamond process and handpicks the best just for you. You see, any jeweler can claim to be a direct importer or have so-called partnerships overseas, but Diamonds Direct has special access that others simply don't have. Nobody can get closer to the source than Diamonds Direct. Indeed, Diamonds Direct is recognized in the industry as a world diamond powerhouse with unrivaled buying power and decades of inside connections that go back to their roots as actual diamond cutters. Bottom line, Diamonds Direct is without question the jeweler here that can truly offer the absolute best value. We're true talking direct importer prices on hand-selected diamonds that come straight from the source. Make no mistake, Diamonds Direct refuses to be undersold on GIA-certified diamonds. And we challenge you, let us prove it. Diamonds Direct, your source for the ultimate diamond value. Proud to call Alamo City home. Diamonds Direct, your love, our passion.
When you've got a big job to do, never compromise. Hi, I'm John Ewald with Ewald Kubota. Get the power, comfort, and quality you need by choosing Kubota rental equipment. Excavators, skid loaders, track loaders, RTVs, or mowers. At Ewald Kubota, we have the machine you need when you need it. Rent by the day, week, or month. We know you want the dependable equipment Kubota is known for, and we can even deliver it to you. From the Gulf of Mexico to the hill country of Texas, for over 75 years, Ewald Kubota is your Kubota dealer.
If you get arrested, get out of jail fast by calling AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text bail to 474747 or online at mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else. Don't be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you one, make sure you understand the conditions before accepting it. AA Best Bail Bonds. Nobody beats their price. They have payment plans. Call 210-225-2121 or mybestbailbonds.com.
License number 149.
Whoa, it's you, the Capital One Bank guy.
That's what they call me.
Mind if I get a selfie?
Yeah, sure thing. Say no fees or minimums on your Capital One checking account.
Wow, that's a keeper. So, where are you heading?
I'm off to spread the good news that Capital One helps people keep more money in their wallet with no overdraft fees.
Oh, you're the best Capital One Bank guy.
Hey, mind if I get a selfie?
Sure.
Say, Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com/bank for details. Capital One N.A. member FDIC.
It's Manny Jr. with Rock's Discount Vitamins, and we are celebrating 10 years of business in San Antonio. Join us this Saturday for a family fun event with Redcon One and the first ever Miss Olympia, Dana Lynn Bailey. One day, 2 locations. This Saturday from 11 to 2 at Rock's Pat Booker location, and then from 3 to 6 p.m. at our Blanco Road location. The first 50 customers receive a Rock's drawstring bag filled with goodies, live DJ, free prizes, store-wide discounts so good you gotta be there. Visit Rock's Discount on IG for more event details.
It's the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Dun, 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 dun. Morning Huddle 94.1. Powering through on a Wednesday. Hump Day. Everybody's humping today.
Yes, I did not need that.
Everybody's humping today.
No one needed that.
Lots of.
Not even Michelle.
No, Michelle.
And her toe.
Let me tell you something, Rob.
We got hoodwinked, taken advantage of. That was just a big old marketing plan.
Yep. Hey, it worked. It worked. We all bought in. All bought in like a bunch of suckers. Suckers we are. It's funny, the Joel Embiid thing brought me to thinking about when I guess we never talked about Jason Kelce. I'm sure you've seen the video of Jason Kelce over the weekend.
Yeah.
So Jason Kelce was at the Penn State-Ohio State game, and of course he's walking across campus, and of course that means there's 100 people with their phones out recording. Well, one guy was recording and really, really, really wanted to get Jason Kelce's attention, so he called Jason Kelce's brother Travis an F word that is like a British cigarette, but with a got on the back.
I think they got the first one.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's a lot of F words.
You're painting a pretty good picture.
Multiple F words.
Yeah, you're right.
But Jason Kelce did not take kindly to this. So he turned around and grabbed the guy's phone and football spiked it, picked it up, put it in his pocket, and walked away. And on Monday Night Football, I hope it wasn't brought down by ESPN, like forcing him to apologize. I don't think he had anything to apologize for. I actually think he showed some restraint.
I think he'd handle it perfectly.
Is he going to have to pay for the guy's phone? Yeah, probably. Big deal.
He knew it.
And yeah, that's the thing. Like, most of these guys, there's a line that you cross with them, and they understand there's going to be ramifications, and they're like, I'm willing to deal with that.
You should have known, man. You're dealing with Kelsey, who's also had a few.
Yeah.
He's not in the media. He's just walking around at that point. There just happened to be some cameras pointed at him.
Yeah. So, I didn't have a problem with Kelsey doing that. In fact, I was like, if he's in trouble for this, that's kind of wrong.
No, but he shouldn't have done it. I mean,
that's what he said. But the truth is, it's like,
the fact remains, you poke the bear, sometimes the bear pokes back, and the guy deserved it.
Guys in the internet age are so desperate for likes and clicks and interaction, like, that they just say things that you don't say to people in real life. Because if you said this to a football player in the mid-'90s,
I believe you get your ass kicked.
That you just get your ass kicked.
Charles Barkley throw you through a bar window.
Yeah. And it's honestly my least favorite thing about the internet is it's given, like, anonymity to people who want to say, like, these crazy things to people that they would never say things to in real life.
And for the most part, 98% never would.
No.
So, but those 2% that think they can carry it forward, I think they need to get their ass kicked.
I think so too.
So I'm all for it.
And the lines are blurred now, because used to it was you're
held to a different standard.
You're beanbag 401 on the internet, and no one knows who you really are, and you can just say, "Oh, Jason Kelsey's or Travis Kelsey's a bleep," and blah blah blah, and you get away with it. The problem is now, because these guys want to be involved, they want to create content, they're saying those things out loud and trying to catch it on video, and forgetting that when you say things to people, you get your ass kicked for that.
But I will say, on the other side of that, we also have football players grabbing their phones as soon as they get in the locker room. I mean, this is a self-feeding kind of thing. I mean, the athlete's just involved with this. And Kelsey's, that strikes me as the type, now that he's got that big podcasting gig, that he's the first one on his phone trying to influence too. So he's part of the beast of which he felt like he had to fight.
Yeah. I don't know. I felt like he handled it about as well as he could have.
I think anybody I know would have, and I disrespected him if he hadn't.
Yeah.
Like, sometimes you don't need to take the higher road. You need to take the right road.
I'm not really a walk-away guy myself.
Well, I mean, there's times everybody should walk away. And there's others.
Rob.
And he called it off.
I wish I was more of a walk-away guy than I am. It'd probably save me a lot of heartache over my years. But I don't do well with it either. And it's almost cost me jobs in radio.
Discretion, you'll learn with age, oftentimes is the better part of valor.
I also think, like, when Jason came up to him, the guy, like, pushed his hand out at him to keep him away.
Which
that sounds like first contact to me.
I mean, it was defensible to the extent that he did push, but Kelsey's going to pay for it.
Yeah,
he's going to pay for more than just the phone.
I don't think so. What do you think, he's going to get suspended or something? I don't think so. I think it's over now. I think it's water under the bridge.
No, he's going to pay that kid more than just the phone.
Oh, no way.
That's going to be able to go away money.
I don't think so.
Well, see,
I'm guessing Jason Kelsey's got a lot better lawyer than that random drunk college kid.
Well, see, it's not. That's all you need is a lawyer with nothing to lose.
Yeah,
and plenty of time to do it, and force Kelsey to fly into town for some court hearing. I mean, sometimes it's worth just paying the money to get rid of your time. So he's gonna pay for it. That kid's gonna get $50,000 just to shut up and go away.
$50,000 for using hate speech on the internet.
But
congratulations.
I'll have your client flying into Happy Valley for 3 different evidentiary hearings. I'm gonna just take days out of his life, or you can just pay me to go away.
Or, I mean, and maybe there is an upside to that, because if you go to court, hey, Jason Kelce posts on the internet, I'm being sued by this person, and this is a person who besmirched Travis Kelce, homosexuals, and Taylor Swift all in one swoop, and just let the internet do its own justice.
But there's still a paycheck.
Yeah.
I mean, there's still, you might be willing to take that.
I'm guessing a bunch of Swifties will donate their $1 a
everybody
piece,
gets
and
paid,
everybody's happy.
and we feed the social media beast yet again.
It's tough with Jason, because Jason's wasn't built to be in the media.
No, that's the other thing, man. He's barely feral. I mean, he's barely been house trained. He's an offensive lineman, for God's sakes.
He used to, before this, he was in anonymity mostly. Like, Eagles fans knew him. That was it. And now he's a superstar. It's tough. It's tough to adjust to that. All right, we'll talk trade deadline stuff on the other side. Morning Huddle, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Riding the work with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson. It's the Morning Huddle, KTFM Floresville. 1, 2, 3, Cowboys! South Texas home of the Dallas Cowboys. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Sunday afternoon at 3:25. Settling in after 2 on the road. The Cowboys take on the Philadelphia Eagles at home.
I like this kind of party!
Pre-game starts at 2:30. Presented by AA Best Bail Bonds and Ewald Kubota.
This is home cooking. How about them Cowboys?
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. South Texas home of the Dallas Cowboys.
This report is sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Progressive Commercial Insurance flexes to fit your business's needs. From quick repairs to adjustable coverages and even payment options, Progressive Commercial makes it easy to get what you need. Quote today in as little as 6 minutes at progressivecommercial.com.
It's time to huddle up and listen close. For 2024, we paid tribute to a true game changer in the world of snacks, the unrivaled, the unbeatable, the pork rind. Yes, it's crunch time, and we're not just talking about the last few nail-biting minutes of the game. We're talking about a snack so audaciously crunchy, it puts those pretentious chips and pretzels to shame. So here's to you, Southern Recipe pork rinds, for being more than just a crunch. Southern Recipe pork rinds. It's crunch time. Find your rind at H-E-B.
Joe Reinagle here for the Golf Club of Texas, open to the public 7 days a week with a country club feel. It's football season, so book your tee times early at golfclubtexas.com and stick around and watch the games. Make Golf Club of Texas your football headquarters where you can watch every game. They'll even stay open until the end of every NFL game, including Thursday, Sunday, and Monday nights. Get into the Tin Cup Bar at the Golf Club of Texas, Highway 90 at Briggs Ranch Road. Golf Club of Texas, the friendliest golf course in Texas.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
At Frost, some of our services sound too good to be true. Like the largest ATM network in Texas. Early payday, so direct deposits made to personal checking accounts are available up to 2 days earlier. Having a real live banker to talk to 24/7. Or that time a Frost banker gave a San Antonio restaurant her personal debit card number after a customer's card was mistakenly declined at his business dinner. True story. Frost, exactly what you unexpected.
You can live out your MasterChef dreams when you find a professional on Angie to tackle your dream kitchen remodel. Connect with skilled professionals to get all your home projects done well. Inside to outside, repairs to renovations. Get started on the Angie app or visit Angie.com today. You can do this when you Angie that.
Here in Texas, we know that trust is earned and reputation matters. Since 1993, Thomas J. Henry dedicated himself to building a firm that injured clients can trust and that Texans can respect. A firm where no defendant is too big and no case is too small. Backed by a track record of success and a commitment to our clients, Thomas J. Henry remains the name you can depend on if you have been injured. Trust the firm that stands for you. Trust Thomas J. Henry. San Antonio, Texas.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star traffic from News Talk 550 KTSA.
Good morning. A couple of trouble spots. 1604 northbound as you approach New Yobo. That wreck is causing a 10-minute delay from Culebra. And Loop 410 westbound before Harry Wurzbach. 2 right lanes blocked with a crash. Stop and go from Parent Vital. Did clear that trouble spot on 90 eastbound, the on-ramp from 410. The on-ramp is clear and that right lane is cleared as well. Now, if you guys see something we're not talking about, call us on the traffic tip line 210-785-2601. I'm Debbie Alcacer, KTSA Time Saver Traffic.
San Antonio's Sports Center.
The Dallas Cowboys made a move at the trade deadline, acquiring wide receiver Jonathan Mingo from the Carolina Panthers in exchange for a 4th-round pick. In other Cowboy news, Dak Prescott will likely go on IR. He will miss at least 4 games with his hamstring injury. Jeremy Sohan suffered a fractured thumb in the loss to the Clippers. He is scheduled to have surgery this week. I'm Rob Thompson on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
From the studios of San Antonio Sports Star, reaching more sports fans than any station in South Texas. Welcome to the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Hour number 2 of the Huddle. Trade deadline came and went yesterday. And first of all, let's get into a little more discussion. We broke the news yesterday. We didn't have all the details yet. We've got all the details now on the Cowboys trade that it just didn't really make a whole lot of sense to me. Jonathan Mingo is at this point, a failed 2nd-round pick.
Well, we don't know. He hadn't had anybody to throw to him. So I think there is, and I wouldn't call him failed. I would say we don't have full results just because of the situation he found himself. I'm not judging I'm not making this deal seem any better than it is. I just don't want to call him failed because, quite frankly, who's been throwing him the ball? What offense has he been in?
Okay, and that is a viable thing. But also, he doesn't even get on the field for the Panthers. That should tell you something.
Obviously, they like this guy in the draft, and this was here. Now, why is the why? Why now? Why him is the question.
In 2 seasons, he has caught a total of 0 touchdowns. That's not ideal. He had 43 catches last year, and this year has 12. He has 26 targets through the first 9 weeks of the season. Like, he just doesn't – they don't want him on the field.
Well, even if maybe he doesn't want to be on – it sounds like what a drastic drop-off. I mean, we've had a rather significant change in the situation here. And granted, there's been some new coaches arrive, and obviously they don't like him. It's not about that. It's not about him specifically. He could have been a 1st-round pick. I mean, he could have been even productive. But it's rearranging deck chairs. We can find all kinds of different ways to describe what they did. They didn't address the problem. It was activity for activity's sake. It was, okay, I'll do this. Well, you didn't need to do that.
But even more than that, the market was set at, DeAndre Hopkins went for this.
Yes. There's so many reasons to be mad at it other than Mingo. They paid too much. They did it at the wrong time. The
biggest detriment is you got less or you gave up more for Jonathan Mingo than you got for trading Amari Cooper. Like, that's a detriment.
They didn't follow. Yes, but they're going to say, you don't know him like we know him. They believe they're the smartest guys in the room. They think that they have done something brilliant. And they're looking at us like we are dogs with our head turned sideways because it's on a frequency that we just don't get. And we're looking at them like we have for the last 2 years. Like, you continue to be an idiot.
This is the 2nd year in a row they have given up a 4th-round pick for, like what you would say, some magic beans. For basically, they traded their pick for Bitcoin.
And you're like, you don't, again, you did it again. Yes, we did, because I know better than you. I've been in this for 30 years, son. I know, but he told us this earlier in the summer. I've been doing this a long time. I know football. No, you don't.
You gave up a 4th rounder last year for Trey Lance that is already looks like a failed. And by the way, the Cowboys have had some success with 4th round picks. They could maybe make some hay here. But you have to think about where the Cowboys are at right now, with Dak making the money he's making, CD's making the money he's making, and let's just assume Mike is going to be making the money he's going to be making next year. You're talking about a massive, massive chunk of your entire cap in 3 players.
Well, 2 are going to be worth 90. 2 of them.
Yeah. Do you realize what the only way to win when that's the case is either one of those guys is Patrick Mahomes and nothing else matters. That's option A. Only one team has that option, unfortunately. The Chiefs have that option. Everybody else, if you pay your quarterback, you pay that kind of money, you have to build a good young roster around them that's on the cheap. And that means what's the only way to get good young players for cheap is to draft.
Or get a guy that's worthy of a 4th round pick and they didn't do either. And they're going to look at you and go, Mingo's going to be a starting NFL wide receiver. You just wait. We're going to look back and you're going to go, oh, I wish I hadn't said that about good old Jerry, because Jerry knew what he was doing. In his mind, they have done right. That they see something nobody else does. They can fix him. They can change him. It was a bad situation, and we saw it, and we're going to prove it to you. And nothing you say or do will prove to them otherwise until it's an abject failure. And then they come up with the next one. They think they're the smartest guys in the room. They do. And until you can convince them that you need some external help, this is going to continue to happen, because until something changes, they're going to do this. If this was May and they made this deal, I'd probably go, okay, you might have, but now is when you did it. Now, when you didn't have to do it and you overpaid for it.
When you're already in a situation where the season is lost.
And if we were coming into May and you had drafted and you said, you know what, we didn't address a problem and this is going to fix it, I'd go, you know what, it makes some sense now. But that's in May when we're heading into preseason and we're trying to plug holes. Now it is, I think it's time to seriously evaluate your talent. I mean, this is not just adding to something to make us better. You need to start subtracting.
Yeah. It's just it's a weird move.
Well, what about bringing in a guy that makes, he does fill a wide receiver room. I mean, if it would to take away the situation, it might actually help in the short term, maybe.
Again, you traded away Amari Cooper for a 5th rounder.
I'm just talking about, do you think just on him walking in the door, does that change what you've seen in the offense?
No.
I mean, just on its face, if you could just justify it by, well, at least we know he'll be open and it'll be somebody for Cooper to throw to in the next month.
So when you make a move like this, you add Jonathan Mingo, you have to cut someone to make room for the roster on the roster. They cut Andrew Booth, who, listen, not that Andrew Booth is going to be missed, but you just traded for him a couple months ago, and now he's already gone. It's like,
well, I mean, we're talking about peripheral ponds here. I mean,
but again, if you're making these trades, like, what are you trading for?
Well, if you take away from I'm not going to question that part of it. I mean, those peripheral guys, they're pawns. They're going to kind of play or they're going to kind of move. They have a value, and they're applying that value in the market. That to me doesn't matter. It's just the fact that you're addressing problems that don't, quite frankly, can't be fixed right now, and it's the least of your worries. And the mistakes that you've made, you've not even begun to address those. Unless you're going to trade CD because Mingo is that good, and you can come out next year and say, the reason we did all this was to allow us to move CD Lamb, which you're not going to do.
No.
This is no CD replacement.
No. The guy's got more fumbles lost in his career than touchdowns.
So don't try to make sense of nonsense, and let's carry on. But this team is deteriorating. It's collapsing underneath Jerry's watch one way or the other. They're going to have to rebuild just because what they have is going away.
It's all very odd. That was the Cowboys' only move. It wasn't the only move yesterday. The 49ers get Khalil Davis from the Texans for a 7th rounder. Khalil Davis kind of defensive line depth for the Texans, who have it right now. Who knows if they'll have it come the end of the season. Ravens get Tre'Davious White for basically a 7th round pick swap. Tre'Davious White it's a great name. He was once a really good player. He's not that anymore, but he's
insurance.
He's a warm body for them. It's kind of it's almost a lottery ticket. The one thing that's bad about the Ravens right now is they're a bad pass defense, and maybe he works out, maybe he doesn't. All you gave up was a 7th round pick swap.
I love the trend this year.
And you're paying his salary. You're trying something.
All the top line teams made a move. The teams that believe it have put their money where their mouth is. All of them. San Francisco, the Steelers, they believe it. They put their money where their mouth is. Yeah,
they go get Preston Smith.
And they freed Mike Williams. Although, God, I dug into Mike Williams. Like, his PFF grade, he's like 106 out of 112 or something like that. Oh, yeah. Well, the beggars can't be choosers in this kind of deadline, but it made Pittsburgh better.
Yeah. He'll be on the field at least for Pittsburgh. Yeah. But the Preston Smith deal is they stockpile these pass rushers, TJ Watt and Alex Highsmith. Like, they're like, oh, they're making him depth. I like that they've made it, in the collective bargaining and the way trades are accounted for, physically, monetarily, and all that, made it easier for teams that are on the run, that feel like this is it, to go do it. I mean, they're not constrained so much that you can take on some less salary, some changes that were made that allow teams to, if they believe it can happen, they can go do it now, where it didn't used to be this easy to fix your team or fill holes. Maybe my favorite move yesterday was the Commanders going and getting Marshawn Lattimore. Oh man, they believe it. They believe that. I mean, they're kicking the dead corpse of the Cowboys. I mean, they're stepping over what they believe. They've got an opportunity here that they don't think I don't believe they thought was possible. The Commanders have been good despite having a horrific pass defense, and Lattimore is going to cost them the minimum salary for the rest of the year. They gave up a 3rd, a 4th, and a 6th, and got Lattimore in a 5th. And now he's on for $18 million the next couple years. Well, they got the money. Yeah. It's a good get. I mean, he's not what he was, but hey, I appreciate the fact that Dan Quinn's got enough sway to go, hey, let's make some moves now instead of letting this thing mature as we expected it would. But that's it. That's a great example of a trade that works for both teams. I agree. The way it should. Because the Saints realizing we're not going anywhere, let's stockpile some draft picks so we can improve later, instead of what the Cowboys did. We're getting rid of draft picks. You're trading out draft. That's insanity. The Bengals get Khalil Herbert for a 7th rounder. Nice pickup. Herbert wasn't even playing for the Bears. It's a good deal for everybody. We talked yesterday about Zadarius Smith going to the Lions for a 5th and a 6th. That's a pretty good deal, I think, too. That's a lot to spend. Kind of the guys I was surprised that I'm surprised that Jadeveon Clowney is still on the Carolina Panthers. He's usually a trade deadline staple. Yeah, but you have to have takers for this one. Jadeveon Clowney's still a player. Yeah, but there's a cost to that. Yeah, there's a cost. But you get Jadeveon Clowney for a 6th round pick. I'm certainly bringing him in. Can't have enough pass rushers. I'm not quibbling, but it hasn't been successful so far. A lot of teams have tried it, and it hadn't pushed them over the top. So there you go. There's a look at the trade deadline moves, and that doesn't even count, Devontae Adams and Amari Cooper and DeAndre Hopkins. Those receivers that went for about 4th round picks. But hey, Jonathan Mingo, just like Devontae Adams, right? Well, they expect to be in the market. It's going to be a high 4th round pick. Oh yeah, nearly a 3rd. Almost. In fact, if you look sideways, it is we call it a late 3rd. Okay. It's a deep 3rd. It's like the 37th pick of the 3rd round. Okay. Yeah. No. It depends on how you look at it. I don't think the Cowboys. The 37th pick of the 3rd round? Yeah. Yeah. It's probably about that. Yeah, you're right. So if you look at it like that, and we just call it something different, it's not a bad deal. No, it sounds worse. They got a 3rd rounder. No, the Cowboys gave a 3rd round. I know. They gave away a 3rd round. That makes it sound worse. So maybe it's a high 5th. No.
Have we heard from him? I just really am interested to hear
The explanation.
because they're going to tell, hey, we loved him in the draft. He's been in a situation that wasn't going to be fruitful for him. And if we had a 4th-round pick, we were going to draft a wide receiver anyway. This guy's already proven. I mean, what are they going to say to us?
I don't know.
And we'll never know, but I wonder who made the call. Because if they answered the call and made this deal, they got hoodwinked.
Here's the other thing. The Panthers traded another wide receiver yesterday. We didn't talk about this move. Or I guess it was 2 days ago. Maybe it was last week even. Deontay Johnson got traded for a 5th-round pick to the Steelers.
Better.
No, he's not.
Well,
like, how did the Cowboys think that Deontay Johnson's not worth a 5th, but Jonathan Mingo's worth a 4th from the same team?
We loved him in the draft, AJ.
Oh, my God,
we would have
dude.
had him in the opportunity. We had him slotted in the draft as a 2nd-rounder, and if you do the math, and now it's a high 5th-rounder or a really deep 3rd-rounder. We expect great things.
This team is so
can't wait to
so dumb.
He and Dalvin Cook are on this constant improvement program that we've instituted, and every day in every way they're almost going to be on the practice squad.
This is a dummy franchise. It really is, and I don't know how they fix it. I don't know. I don't know. Like I when I see the Ravens when they get Deontay Johnson for a 5th, I'm like, oh, that's pretty sharp. You know, DeAndre Hopkins goes for a 4th-rounder, and I'm like, oh, that's a nice move. Jonathan Mingo, Johnny Mingo. I'm your Huckleberry.
Until he proves otherwise. It's hard not. I mean, honestly, he might show up and be the dude, and until he proves otherwise, and then we can jump on him. But they're going to tell us, hey, that we loved him in the draft. We had him slotted a lot higher than this. Wait do you see him? And then by the time we see him and we realize they've made another huge mistake, we'll be on to the next thing.
Yep. Well, Johnny Mingo. I'm going to call him Johnny Ringo, I think. Why, Johnny Ringo, we got to hit a break.
Do you think you're excited if you get traded to the Cowboys?
No.
You think you woke up and, well, I mean, it's out of the frying pan into the fire.
Yeah,
but
you're away from
you got the
Carolina.
call. Like, well, I guess I get to go to
know
Dallas.
what? He probably is excited because, again, if you're not getting any snap count on Carolina, dude, you're a corpse. Think about it. They traded Deontay Johnson last week. He still had 0 receptions this week. He has had 1 reception in the last 4 games for a total of 1 yard. But hey, man, future's bright.
What would he have to do to be a success in your mind?
I don't know. Like, get on the field, catch footballs, maybe score a touchdown here and there. But in 2 years, he hasn't done that. In 2 years, he has scored 0 touchdowns in the NFL.
Well, they're going to tell you they left him in the draft.
Then you should have drafted him.
Well, they couldn't because they had their eyes on Taco Charlton.
Yeah.
And,
and Mozzie.
And Mozzie Smith.
Yeah, I had to get Mozzie.
What was that? Simi Fehoko. We had our eye on that guy, and we decided to go another direction.
Oh, my God. What a dope. What a dopey organization. All right. When we come back, we'll okay.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking to me. Jeez. We'll talk about what's going on with the Spurs. It's Morning Huddle 94.1.
I hope you stepped out of your Connecticut water softened shower feeling good about life today. No matter what happened last night, today is a new day, and I hope you washed yourself clean under that water. Because you know full well if you've got a Connecticut, there's no residue on your skin. Your hair is as clean as possible. When you walked out to have your iced coffee, that ice that came out of your fridge, crystal clear, no weird flavors at all. That's what Connecticut offers you, the day-to-day comfort of everything you're putting in your mouth, on your plants, on your pets, everything else is as clean and clear as possible. That means your pipes are taken care of, your appliances are fine, and you can carry on with your life. If you don't have a Connecticut, that should be a nagging worry. If you don't have a Connecticut, I hope you are like us and used to have a card from your plumber taped inside the cupboard door because it's going to be a problem. I get a Connecticut, and the thing that I notice first, because I'm on a well, is just there's a different flavor to the water. It's perfect. It's exactly what I want. It makes our fine South Texas well water work out quite well. So if I'm talking to you with a well, it does make a difference. Listen, it's always been a cost issue with Connecticut. You always got to pay for the very best, even though if you've done your research, you find out dollar for dollar, you're not going to get a better deal. But right now, if you'll call 656-PURE, 656 Pure. They'll come out and put a Kinetico in your home for 90 days, and you're going to find out what I'm talking about. You'll know of what I speak, and when you finally decide that it's a time for the Kinetico, which you will, you're going to get a gift, a thing that I had to pay for. It's a reverse osmosis water dispenser at your kitchen sink. Ready whenever you need it. No more bottled water. Your coffee's clear. Ready your tea. Everything you're chasing, it's there with your Kinetico. That's just for signing up with them today. Call them today. Get that Kinetico in your home. Find out what I'm talking about and get yourself where your neighbors are. And then I'm sure you'll come by and thank me later.
Dallas Cowboys head coach Mike McCarthy goes one-on-one with the Morning Huddles, AJ and Rob, Friday mornings.
I have to ask the sun. At some point, is that ever going to be addressed?
Talking about it
In the stadium, the 325 sundial effect, it just seems something that we can fix. Let's put some curtains up.
Okay, noted.
Mike McCarthy's unfiltered look at the Cowboys' upcoming game. Friday mornings at 6:45 and 9. Presented by AA Best Bail Bonds on 94.1. San Antonio's Sports Star.
Not all pizza places are the same. Mellow Mushroom originated hand-tossed, stone-baked classic Southern pizza. Not in the mood for pizza? Order a calzone, hoagie, sandwich, burger, or a mellow salad and see how care goes into every item on the menu. Take your pick from 24 draft beers and or handcrafted cocktails. And many of the pizzas can be made gluten-free or vegan. Mellow Mushroom is at 1604 in Stone Oak Parkway. Hang with friends, watch the game, and mellow out at Mellow Mushroom.
If you're thinking about a compact tractor and you want the best, you can afford a Kubota. Hi, I'm John Ewald with Ewald Kubota. Come into one of our 11 locations and check out our tractor package deals. We're offering 0 down and 0 APR financing for 84 months or up to $3,300 off select compact tractors. With a deal this good, you can afford a Kubota from Ewald Kubota. Check out our package specials at ewaldkubota.com.
Now through December 31st, see us or go to KubotaUSA.com for full disclaimer.
Buyers Barricades is proud to provide traffic control, rental, and sales for work zones and events in the San Antonio area and beyond. Buyers Barricades, the Texas authority in barricade rental. Learn more online at buyersbarricades.com. That's buyersbarricades.com.
Divorce is tough, but you have a choice. Do you want control of the process, or are you willing to let your spouse dictate the terms? If you're serious about safeguarding your assets during a divorce, then Barton & Associates is your law firm. As the owner of Barton & Associates, I will ensure my attorneys act swiftly and decisively to protect what's rightfully yours. Be in control of your divorce. Visit TexasDivorce.com or call 210-500-0000. That's 210-5-million.
Principal Office, San Antonio.
It's time to review the top 3 highlights of the day. I'm joined as always by my co-anchor Snoop.
Hey, what up, though?
Snoop, number 1 has to be getting the new iPhone 16 Pro with Apple Intelligence at T-Mobile.
Yeah, you should hustle down to T-Mobile like a dog chasing a squirrel, chasing a nut.
Nice analogy, Snoop. Dogs do love to chase squirrels.
And squirrels love to chase those nuts.
On to highlight number 2. At T-Mobile, families can save 20% every month versus the other big guys.
That is very impressive. You know, y'all can take some of those savings and buy some Snoop merchandise.
That's exactly what I'm planning on doing with my savings, Snoop. Now, take it away, Snoop.
Head to T-Mobile.com and get the new iPhone 16 Pro with Apple Intelligence on them. Now drop that jingle.
With 24 monthly bill credits, eligible trade-in on Go 5G Next. Well-qualified customers plus tax and $35 connection charge. Cancel entire account before receiving 24 bill credits, and credit stop and balance on required finance agreement too. Bill credits end if you pay off device early. See how you can save versus the other big guys at T-Mobile.com/switch. Apple Intelligence coming fall 2024.
Whoa, it's you, the Capital One Bank guy.
That's what they call me.
Mind if I get a selfie?
Yeah, sure thing. Say no fees or minimums on your Capital One checking account.
Wow, that's a keeper. So, where are you heading?
I'm off to spread the good news that Capital One helps people keep more money in their wallet with no overdraft fees.
Oh, you're the best Capital One Bank guy.
Hey, mind if I get a selfie?
Sure.
Say, Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com/bank for details. Capital One NA, member FDIC.
There's never any FOMO with the iHeartRadio app. You won't ever have to miss out on your favorite shows and contests with this radio station again. Radio 24/7, 365. We're here when you want us. Stay connected and listen anywhere when you download the free iHeartRadio app.
When I wake up
The best mornings
in the morning light,
start with Wrangler.
I pull on my jeans and I feel alright.
Jeans, jackets, and shirts that get your day started. Good mornings make for better days. Wrangler, for the ride of life.
San Antonio Sports Stars 50K Pro Football Pick'em giveaway is back. Head to USASportsStar.com and pick the winners of each pro football game every week to earn points for each correct pick. Highest points each week wins a $25 gift card to Mellow Mushroom. Highest points overall scores $1,000 worth of tickets from A Awesome Tickets. Pick the winning ticket of every regular season game. Win the grand prize, $50,000. This is an Audience National contest across multiple markets. The 50K Pro Football Giveaway. Register and win at SASportsStar.com. You're listening to the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
Spurs take a hit. Jeremy Sohan, the word is out now on the injury. We knew he was hurt. We didn't know for how long or how severe it was, but looks like a broken left thumb, will require surgery.
Can he still grab a rebound and defend?
It sounds like no, not for a little while. What's the fallout from this? Is this
the defense is going to take a
seems that way
giant hit. Although there are some that argue, and to some extent they are correct, that Sohan does tend to clog up some of the offensive movement that'll allow Wemby to move. So I do expect the offense will probably improve, but I don't think it'll improve to the extent that we won't miss the defense.
Yeah, I think so too. I do think it's because the assumption would be that Keldon starts to get those minutes, right?
Well, Keldon better hope.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That would be the step that you do. But, Devin Vassell's due back anytime. We'll see how that plays into it. And then you got to keep that variable of how much is going to be different without Pop sitting on the sidelines.
Right.
I mean, that's just going to be different too. So a lot of variables coming into this week as we face an injury that, quite honestly, I joke. I mean, what's this really going to affect with him? I mean, maybe he'll miss a layup or two, but it's not.
He's already missing those.
The shooting hasn't been there. It's not like he's been an offensive beast. And let's patch that thing up and go grab a couple rebounds, and you just won't get to stand alone out there at that 3-point line. We're not even going to put you out there. We'll just let you do something else.
Hey, there's worse things. You listen. Hey, you don't have to worry about shooting. Don't do that. Don't.
As long as that one hand, and it's his left hand, it's his non-shooting hand, so he can still do those one-hand free throws.
That was a pretty good joke, though, where he's like, his non-shooting hand, which one?
Which one is that?
It's a good point. No, it's certainly diminishing on the defensive end. That is a real kind of kick in the teeth, but I don't know. It almost feels like with Vassell coming back, maybe it evens out whenever Vassell does come back. But when are we going to see this team at full strength? That's the question. I don't know. I don't know that we will.
That's the reason why the over-under's at 37. You know what I mean?
And, man, I've had a couple times this year where I've seen something and gone, hey, might be something there.
Well, I don't think there's any reason to look away. I still think there is something there. And this is not a bad time for a guy like Sohan to kind of have to disappear because of what he does on the court, because he's such an absolute glue guy that does disguise some defensive issues, that does disguise some on-ball stuff that we're not very good at. We're going to have somebody step up and guard the best guy on their team, taller than 6'5". There's going to be some things that somebody else is going to have to step in. And the best, and you brought it up, beneficiary of this, is Keldon. Keldon's had one good game this year. We played 6, and he's had one where he's not MIA.
Yeah.
I think as just a boost of confidence, whether we think he's long-term, short-term trade bait or not, he needs to find what he is going to be, because obviously what he was, he's not going to be allowed to do anymore. Skinny Keldon is doing different things that he's going to have to do better, primarily defense. And now, more than ever, we're going to have to see him earn his minutes and keep himself in the rotation for his defense, because it's going to be the thing that keeps him on the court now.
Yeah, that's what it's going to have to be. So we'll see the Spurs in action tonight against the Houston Rockets.
Dude, can we get done with the Rockets? How many times are we going to play these guys?
3 times in the first 7 games?
Like another off-season scrimmage.
Yeah, it is kind of weird. Spurs 6.5-point dogs in Houston, total of 214. I'd actually expect to see a higher scoring game just from the fact that Sohan will be out.
Yeah.
It feels like Rockets will be able to flow a little bit more. The Spurs are probably better offensively with him off the floor. Even though he has put up some numbers, I think it's really been because he just happens to be the body that's warm when Wemby's on the other side of the court. So I could see this game going over.
The Spurs definitely going to be lax defensively. They're going to give up more buckets.
Well, no Pop on the sideline,
Right.
no Sohan. Yeah, the defense might take a back seat for a little while.
We only melted down a 26-point lead the other night. I mean,
yeah, big deal.
So defense
Happens all the time, right?
You figure every other night, maybe this one they'll show.
Happens all the time. All right, I got to tell you guys about SA Card House. SACardhouse.com. They're located at 281 and Bitters. It's San Antonio's premier card house, and I've been playing there a lot lately. I've been going at it. I actually made some money. I split it 3 ways on Monday. I cashed in the big tournament over the weekend, and man, the cash games. I normally don't play cash games, but I've been playing them there because just good people, good times, and I'm making money. So I suggest getting out there. Also, great drinks, great food, great atmosphere. That goes a long way for me as someone who was out in Vegas, and the poker rooms out in Vegas, quite frankly, just a little scuzzy. It's going the way of the dinosaur there. Poker's a hot thing in San Antonio right now, and this is the hottest card house. SA Card House. Go in. They got tournaments every day if you're a tournament player. They do big tournaments once or twice a month that are like multi-day tournaments. And if you're a cash player, there's a game going all the friggin' time. Like I said, stop by, check out that food, Foster's Bar and Grill. You don't have to be a member to dine there. They got 5-star chefs on hand, just fantastic food. Check them out on the socials, SA Card House, or go to sacardhouse.com to check out when all the tournaments are, and I will see you on the tables.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star Traffic from Newstalk 550 KTSA.
Good morning. We are working a few trouble spots. Let's start at Loop 410 westbound before Harry Wurzbach. This wreck has 2 right lanes blocked. Stop and go from Parent Vital. On 410 eastbound at Evers, that's a stall left lane. 5-7-minute delay, slow from Military Drive. On 1604 northbound approaching New Gilbo, that wreck takes up the left lane. That's a 5-minute delay from Calabria. I'm Debbie Alcacer, KTSA Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Progressive Insurance. With Progressive Insurance, you can make sure your family is well taken care of with life insurance. Protect your phones, laptops, and more with electronic device insurance. And cover your furry friends with pet health insurance. Visit Progressive.com. That's Progressive.com.
Hi, my name is Jason Thompson. I'm an attorney here in San Antonio representing people and families who've been injured in traffic collisions since 1994. The reason it's important to call me as soon as possible is the number of tricks and mistakes you can make, even up to talking to insurance companies, which I'm going to tell you not to do. And also some of the billing practices at our local hospitals. And over the last year, I've seen more and more of this, where hospitals are asking patients to assign benefits they do not have to assign, all in an effort to get more money to the hospital than they would receive if all you used was your health insurance. When you call, I will give you your options. We'll talk about your case. And all of that is free of charge. If you or a family member has been injured in a traffic accident, whether car, commercial truck, motorcycle, I want you to call me as soon as possible after the collision. My number, 210-900-0400. That's 210-900-0400. Or go to my website at alawyerforus.com.
Shop Dell Technologies' early holiday savings event for their lowest prices of the year. The future is on sale today with limited time deals on select PCs like the XPS 16 that accelerate AI with Intel Core Ultra processors. Early holiday savings is their biggest sale of the year and the best time to upgrade, but it's only here for a limited time. Shop now at Dell.com/deals. That's Dell.com/deals.
Home ownership. At Progressive, we know it's part of the American dream. It's sea to shining sea, and water damage as far as the eye can see. It's America. It's freshly mowed grass and a fence that was freshly vandalized by a pack of unruly teens. It's America. It's also around-the-clock protection when you bundle your home and auto with Progressive, which can help keep the American dream of home ownership alive and kicking. Get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
All right, when it comes to getting life insurance for your family, a lot of excuses can get in the way. But ask yourself this. If something were to happen to me, who would pay the mortgage, the kids' education, and the other bills? Then forget the excuses and check out Ethos Life, the online, easy way to get life insurance in 10 minutes. Ethos has rates that you can afford, like a $500,000 policy for a 40-year-old male starting at $1 a day or $30 a month, with a few health questions and no medical exam. Get your free quote right now at checkethos.com. That's checkethos.com. Not available in all states. Rates do vary.
Working from home, you realize you don't have enough outlets or USB ports. Hill Electric can fix that for you. For over 3 decades, the family-owned Hill Electric has served San Antonio homes and businesses. From adding an outlet, fixing that fuse that always blows, or that flickering light, Hill Electric has the right service at the right price, and there is never a service charge and always free estimates. Call Hill Electric at 210-404-9074. That's 404-9074. Or go to hill-electric.com.
Guys, Underdog is the place to play if you're a sports fan looking to win money while you're watching sports. They've got all your favorite leagues, teams, and stars to choose from. You think Dak is going to have higher or lower yards than his stat coming up in this game? You can make money off that opinion at Underdog. Create entries with football, basketball, mix and match. You can do it all. They've even got college sports as well. I've been playing a lot of those college props. I think there is some money to be made in those deals. This week on Underdog, I'm looking at the Spurs. I'm going Wemby to go over on his rebounds. And guys, again, every sport is available on here. It's a blast, and it just makes the games more interesting. This season, they're running a special promo or bonus almost every single day. Profit boost, discounts, free picks. They're basically a sure thing. A player has to get higher than a half a point to get the win. All new users get a free pick. Download the app, sign up with the promo code Alamo, deposit now, and get up to $1,000 in bonus cash immediately. That's promo code Alamo. Must be 18 or older. Present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org.
It's The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2.
Coming up on The Blitz, the Texas Longhorns vacation is over. They get back to action. They got the Florida Gators. Bob Ballou from KI Sports will tell us all about it.
Cowboys make a trade at the deadline, getting a wide receiver in Jonathan Mingo. I am sure RJ Ochoa from Blogging the Boys is excited beyond belief. He'll join us at 4:35 to talk about it.
The Blitz starts at 2.
The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
This is Jason Minix. You're listening to 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Hey, you guys like getting stuff? Yeah, you do. 8 o'clock hour, I'm going to give away some comedy tickets. I know I said that yesterday, and then I forgot. Really, I didn't forget. Vic forgot to tell me to do it. So blame Vic for any feelings that were hurt yesterday. I think it's pretty safe to say it's his fault. We will talk to Dr. Jason Garrett coming up at 8 o'clock. Normally, we talk to him at 8:45, but my old pal Eric Warner, from the head brewer, the brewmaster at Carbach, will be in at 8:30 to talk some beer with us. I got to tell you guys about Thursday Night Football. I don't know if you were aware, but San Antonio Sports Star is your home for Thursday Night Football. And this week, the Cincinnati Bengals take on the Baltimore Ravens. Starting at 6:30 with the pregame. Thursday Night Football presented by Flight by Yingling, the next generation of light beer. All right, Robert. The college football playoff has been set. The teams are Oregon, Georgia, Miami, BYU would have the byes. As it stands now, Ohio State would be 5, Texas 6, Penn State 7, Tennessee 8, Indy 9, so that'd be the 8-9 matchup. Notre Dame would be 10, so they'd play Penn State. Alabama would be 11, so they'd play Texas. And Boise State would be 12, playing Ohio State. The first team out, the SMU Ponies. The second team out, the fighting Texas A&M Aggies. Now, I will say this about those fighting Aggies and about the Longhorns. This goes to both. If you look at the odds in Vegas right now, Texas is minus 1,200 to make the college football playoff. It's a big number. It's a very confident number. I would maybe even say an overly confident number. Texas A&M's plus 400. It really boils down to, unless some crazy thing happens with Texas A&M and they lose to Auburn or New Mexico State, Texas A&M getting into the playoff boils down to, do they beat Texas? And I promise you, on game day between Texas and Texas A&M, you won't get a plus 400 money line on Texas A&M. So,
but that number is reflective of what A&M exhibited over the weekend. That money reflects, they believe that if any team could stub their toe between now and then, it's A&M. And they don't believe Texas is going to stub their toe. Like, they're going to get there undefeated or not losing another game to take them on, where they expect by that number, A&M going to lose another game. They're going to stub their toe against Auburn. They're going to do something dumb, and that's why that number's there. And good, bad, or indifferent, I think they've earned it. I think right now A&M is perfectly placed. That's exactly where they belong. Ahead of LSU because they beat them, even though LSU could argue they're better over the long run. But they beat them, so that's where they belong. And right behind the group of five school, that would be the last kind of school in anyway. So ideally situated, they win out, they go. Texas wins out, they go. Tennessee wins out, they go. Penn State wins out, they go. Indiana too. But that's not going to happen. There's going to be this deck is going to be reshuffled, maybe all the way from number one. I just don't believe that this is static, even remotely static. I think probably only half these teams on this list are going to be there. I really do.
Well, I think that SMU might have a real beef. SMU is 8-1. They've got the 13th strongest schedule in the country, 2 wins against ranked opponents. There's another team who's 7-1, has the 15th strength of schedule, and 2 wins against ranked opponents, and that's Notre Dame.
Yep.
They're comfortably in. They lost to Northern Illinois. That is not a good loss.
And SMU is one of those variables that you need to account for, because they're the kind of team that could just fall ass backwards into winning out, and by evidence, the committee doesn't believe they're good enough to be there.
SMU?
Yeah. You know what I mean? By evidence, they should be higher ranked than they are.
It does kind of feel like SMU is still looked at as, well, it's a G5 team playing up.
That's the perception. By evidence, they should be higher ranked than they are. So there's some schools that get the opportunity. Just prove to me that you can't. SMU has to prove to the committee that they can.
And think about it. SMU's only loss is to unbeaten BYU.
They're not ranked high enough, which just tells me the committee, if they got to win the beauty contest. Not only do they have to win the games, they got to win a beauty contest too.
And by the way, I'd be shocked if SMU lost a game before the ACC championship. They'll probably play Miami in the ACC title game, but Boston College at Virginia, home to Cal, I would be shocked if they lost one of those games. SMU's going to be 11-1 going into an ACC title game. If they beat Miami, obviously they're in. It's a bummer that they're not being looked at as a team that should deserve a shot anyway. I mean, this is
worst case scenario. They lose in the ACC championship, or the loser of that championship game might not go.
Yep.
And they won't have time to fix it. They won't have games to make up for it.
They went to Louisville and beat the hell out of them. They played Pitt last week, unbeaten Pitt. Made them look like they weren't even a real football program. Like they made them look silly. This SMU team is legit. They're good. And it probably, I think, being overlooked a little bit. But the reality is, even now, there's only 12 spots, which sounds crazy, but there's only 12 spots, and somebody's going to be left out.
So at the beginning of the year, when we named what we thought would be the 12, what are the surprises here?
BYU.
Yep.
Indiana. Miami.
Everybody else, they're the usual suspects.
Yeah.
I mean, the NIL world has changed some things, and I think it's leveled out some things. But at the end of the day, the teams that knew how to take care of players and had a pipeline of things, and SMU has been an expert at paying players for a long time. You know, they might be one of those few schools that finally, when the NIL came around, they were the ones ready to spring on it. They knew how to take care of players, pay them, find the way to pay them in ways that we never even considered. And they've been the beneficiary. No one thought they'd be sitting here today.
No, you're right. And by the way, I still think BYU's not going to make the playoff. I think they'll likely play Iowa State in the Big 12 final, and Iowa State's a better football team than BYU. They just are.
And they're a one-bid league, so whatever it is, I don't think it'll be them. There's several teams on this thing that I just, by the way the schedule's going to shake out, they're going to eliminate themselves. So this is a fun out in Dallas, and at least it gives everybody, like SMU, A&M, if they win, it doesn't matter. But like the schools that are going to be on the periphery that need to look good, at least they know they need to look good.
Yeah. I mean, listen, if you're in the SEC right now, because after A&M at 14, the next two teams are both SEC teams, it's LSU and Ole Miss. You win the rest of your games, you're in. LSU has a chance against Alabama this week. They can take Alabama's spot. That is a de facto elimination game. You can't have 3 losses and make it. So one of those teams is going to have 3 losses after this weekend, and that's that. And
Tennessee's got a couple too.
Ole Miss plays Georgia this weekend. I believe Ole Miss is going to beat Georgia this weekend.
Loser goes home.
I don't know if Georgia goes home because that'd be their second loss, and their losses would be to Texas and Ole Miss, two playoff caliber teams.
Yeah,
but a lot of it will depend on what happens with Tennessee then, because if Georgia goes in, if Georgia beats the hell out of Tennessee, they'll take their Tennessee spot, because then they'd both be 2-loss teams, and Georgia would have a win head-to-head.
And Alabama's the highest 2-loss, and they're what, 7th, 8th?
They are in the 8-9, yeah. So they're but yeah, I think that no one can have 3 losses. I don't think, but we're now at the point of the season where if you lose more, you're putting yourself at real risk.
And it won't. Yeah, it'll be taken out of the hands of the
Indiana.
The voters.
Indiana might not be able to fade 1 loss. Like if they lose to Ohio State, that's probably it.
I agree. That's why I look at this list and say there's 6 teams on here that the likelihood of them being gone is more probable than them being in it.
But if I told you at the beginning of the year there would be an 11-1 Big Ten team that won't make the 12-team playoff, would you have believed me?
I would say I believe you if it's not one of the big 4. You know what I mean? If you're telling me it's going to be Purdue or Indiana, no, I believe that. I believe they wouldn't get in, because this is one of those things that you have to. Well, you know,
but even then,
no, you're right. I take
have
that
to,
back.
Like,
you're in the Big Ten, and I don't care who you are, you deserve it. And the fact that we're having to talk about them like this, like if you don't score 25 points or better against Ohio State, even if they only scored 28, sorry, you're gonna have to beat them.
We're gonna look at Indiana and go, okay, and if they get blown out by Ohio State, it might change things. But if they lose a close game to Ohio State, we're going to say when their schedule came out, we saw them against Nebraska, Washington, at Michigan State, Michigan. They beat all of those teams, and we're still telling them, not good enough.
I don't know if anybody has seen them play, and I would hope that, we're all speaking from experience. I didn't buy in on it. I didn't buy in on it.
So you saw it?
Even against Nebraska, I thought, my God, Nebraska's terrible. I didn't think that Indiana is that good. But it was the week without the quarterback where they went out, and it was at Michigan State. Where they went out, and it didn't matter. When it did it again,
47-10 on the road.
I walked in here on Monday morning and told AJ, I'm a believer. Now you got me. But it took this long to get here before I even gave you a chance.
They have not. Obviously they're undefeated. They're 9-0. They have not had anyone closer than 14 points to them. That was their closest win, was a 14-point win against Washington, a team that played for the national championship last year. And we're like, well, if they lose to Ohio State, they're out. Doesn't seem right to me.
But it is what it is, and unfortunately that's what it's going to be.
And I also think if you are one of these non-brand name Power 5 or Power 4 schools, like in Indiana, it is vital that you schedule something in the non-conference that's going to give you some cred. Because everybody's looking at them now and going, Florida International, Western Illinois, Charlotte. They didn't go out of their way to get a even remotely decent data point.
Going into the year, they thought they'd chosen well. Like, these teams are going to be tough. You know? Like, this is about our weight class.
But if, let's say you replace Florida International with Baylor, random, I mean, it doesn't have to be like a high-level Power 4 team, but a random Power 4 team.
The Notre Dame method.
Yes.
Yeah, mid-level big conference.
You replace Western Illinois with Boston College.
Yeah, mid-level big conference.
Dude, you're in.
Mm-hmm.
You're in. Arizona. You beat Arizona. You're in.
It is the Notre Dame film. You don't have to play anybody great. You just got to play names everybody knows.
Yes, that's it. And that's what they failed to do. Florida International, Western Illinois, and Charlotte is not enough. Even with a Big Ten schedule, it's not. It might not be enough.
Don't play a directional school or a city school. If you're doing that, it doesn't look good.
Nope. Bad look. But they're still certainly in the mix. And I think they can give Ohio State hell in a week. The other teams that are still hanging around and have, I guess they're keeping hope alive. Iowa State and Pitt, I just mentioned, they're hoping that somebody stubs their toe, and Iowa State really just needs to keep winning, and they'll be in the Big 12 championship game. Pitt doesn't have that luxury in the ACC. Colorado sitting at 6-2.
And I think a lot of voters would like them.
I think so, too. I mean?
Give them a chance, and they'll get a vote.
But I think everybody else is basically the only other schools that I would say on the list that aren't eliminated are Washington State and Army, who are ranked 21st and 25th, but their inclusion is obviously dependent on what happens with Boise because they don't have a conference affiliation. They need Boise to fall back, and that's difficult to foresee, quite frankly, especially with Washington State. Washington State lost to Boise, and now, but if Boise loses, that would give them 2 losses, and Washington State would just have the 1, so Washington State might be in the driver's seat. And again, I go back to if Army beats Notre Dame and Army goes 12-0 with a win against Notre Dame, it is going to be very difficult to keep them out.
There's no question.
But if you're like the rest of these rankings, like when you look down at Louisville 6-3, it doesn't matter. The rankings go down to 25. Louisville doesn't matter. They can win the rest of their games. They can have other teams lose, and they're still not getting in. Missouri 6-2, they're done. They're done.
Yeah, they're playing for a good bowl night.
Yeah.
Are we going to play after Christmas or before?
And I guess that's like the goal, I guess, of these rankings is to let the bowl people go, oh, we got the number 20-something team in the playoff ranking. But the only 2 teams with a pulse that Mizzou played, A&M and Alabama, crushed them. And now they don't have any. I guess they've got a game at South Carolina. That's not enough to put them over the top. But the rest of their games are Oklahoma, Mississippi State, and Arkansas. No one's going to be impressed with any of those wins.
And even if they win, they can't pass those that are in front of them.
Nope,
it's over.
So it's just it's going to be interesting to see week to week how the rankings shift. But there's already lines that can be drawn, and we can say, okay, this is where the line is. If you're below this line, your season's over.
And it's probably at about 50.
Yeah.
Except for
those 2 exceptions.
Except for the group of 5.
Yeah. That's the only ones that have a chance to do. And here's a hot take. This season, there will be 11 teams in the playoff, maybe 10, that have a chance to win the title.
I completely agree.
And in most years, there's 3 or 4 max, I would guess. But in this year, there's nobody who's great. Everybody is flawed. All of these teams have massive hold. Georgia almost lost to freaking Florida last week. Oregon, if Oregon played a team that could run the football worth a damn, they might lose because Oregon cannot stop the run.
I love this, but I will say that the way that it's going to shake out, because we don't have – I mean, the parity is very, very evident this year.
Mm-hmm.
the chaos that ensues, it's going to be interesting to see how the way that it shakes out the first year, how we address it the next year.
Yep.
I mean, how are we going to
adjust?
Because there's something weird's going to happen. There's going to be a Florida State that has every reason but one to be there. And probably not at a 12 seed, but probably if they were to get in, they'd be a 6 seed, but they don't get in at all because of something weird. And I think we don't know what that's going to be. And because we don't have the greats, and there's going to be somebody of great that's really good that's going to be sitting at home watching that's better than probably 4 teams out there, but lost at the wrong time.
All right, guys, I got to say about game day men's health. And between us boys, I assume there's only men listening here. When you hit a certain age, things don't feel the way that you once felt. You're tired, your energy's low, maybe your sex drive isn't what it used to be. Well, Game Day Men's Health, that's where they're going to come in. They're going to help you out, man. It comes down to your testosterone, and it happens to the best of us. Game Day, what they do great is it's a one-stop shop, baby. You go in, you get your T levels checked with a free testosterone test. You meet with a licensed provider. You create a custom plan, and then you get your treatments. And I went with the pellets. I got mine done right away. It'll last me up to 4 or 5 months. If you're okay going in every week and getting a shot, they do that too. 250 East Bassey Road, right there in the quarry. Don't settle, man. This is a great place. They're not dragging you all over the city, making you come back for a bunch of trips. They do it there because they know you got a life to live. And once you get this testosterone in you, life's going to be a little sweeter. Don't settle. Be the best version of yourself. Give Game Day a call. 210-900-3691. That's 210-900-3691. Feel better, be better. It's Game Day.
This is Jim Rome. Have a take, don't suck on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. KTFM Floresville.
South Texas home of the Dallas Cowboys. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Sunday afternoon at 3:25. Settling in after 2 on the road. The Cowboys take on the Philadelphia Eagles at home.
I like this kind of party.
Pre-game starts at 2:30. Presented by AA Best Bail Bonds and Ewald Kubota.
This is all cooking.
How about them Cowboys? 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. South Texas home of the Dallas Cowboys.
This report is sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Looking for a career you'll love with flexibility, great pay and benefits, and one of the country's top workplaces? Join their growing team. Go to progressive.com/careers and apply online today. That's progressive.com/careers.
George gets justice. After being hit by an 18-wheeler, the experienced attorneys of George Salinas Injury Lawyers are San Antonio's choice for getting you the maximum compensation you deserve. With over 110 years of combined experience, they've recovered millions for their clients. 18-wheelers may be bigger than you on the road, but you can be bigger than them in the courtroom. George guarantees that you don't pay unless they win your case. Call 210-225-0909 today for a free consultation. George gets justice. GetGeorge.com.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation, and a regular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduce stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop taking prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. It may increase your stroke risk. Eliquis can cause serious and in rare cases fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or take longer for bleeding to stop. A spinal injection while on Eliquis increases risk of blood clots, which may cause paralysis, the inability to move. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding, unusual bruising, or tingling, numbness, or muscle weakness. Medications such as aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners may increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
Having trouble finding that luxury timepiece you've been dreaming about? You might be surprised to find it at Diamonds Direct. Diamonds Direct now invites you to our exclusive luxury watch collection, now stocked with some hard-to-find brand new and certified pre-owned Swiss timepieces. At Diamonds Direct, our buyers have been scouring the country finding the watches you can't get anywhere else, including a fabulous collection of new and pre-owned models in immaculate condition from Rolex, Audemars Piguet, Patek Philippe, Richard Mille, and more. We've got Rolex Submariners, Datejust, Pepsis, Batmans, and other hard sought-after models. So if you're tired of waiting for years to get that luxury watch you've been wanting, stop waiting. Walk out with it today at Diamonds Direct. And if you have a fine Swiss watch you want to sell, our buyers are always willing to pay top dollar. Maybe it's time for a trade-in or trade-up. Come and see the all-new luxury watch collection at Diamonds Direct. Get showroom directions, hours, and learn more at DiamondsDirect.com. Proud to call Alamo City home. Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion.
Time to start planning your Thanksgiving dinner, and that starts with the turkey. And the best turkeys are from Tri-County Meat Market. Tri-County gets their turkeys from Barber Farms in Colorado. These fresh, all-natural turkeys are never frozen and come between 8 and 24 pounds. Tri-County Meat Market only gets a limited number, so reserve your turkey before they sell out. Pre-order your turkeys and your pies from the Ultimate Cheesecake Bakery now at either Tri-County Meat Market location on Heavener Road or on Ralph Fair Road.
Ready to kick off your holiday shopping early? Ulta Beauty's early Black Friday event is here with up to 40% off the best gifts for everyone on your list, even you. Snag $15 cleansers from over 20 brands like Tula and Philosophy, plus $10 minis from brands like MAC and Urban Decay that deliver big joy in little packages. And don't miss 40% off select YSL and Armani fragrances. New offers drop every week, so head to Ulta Beauty today. Get all the best gifts, all at Ulta Beauty.
Sports Center is brought to you by Buyers Barricades, the Texas Authority in barricade rental. BuyersBarricades.com.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star traffic from News Talk 550 KTSA.
Good morning. Working trouble spots at I-10 westbound at Probat. That wreck got to the shoulder. 151 eastbound Penn Road. That's a stall right lane. And 1604 northbound at Braun Road. Disabled vehicle blocking the median. Now, if you guys see something we're not talking about, call us on the traffic tip line at 210-785-2601. But pretty much all our major freeway systems are filling in, slowing down for your morning rush hour. I'm Debbie Alcacer, KTSA. Time Saver Traffic.
San Antonio's Sports Center.
The Dallas Cowboys made a move at the trade deadline, acquiring wide receiver Jonathan Mingo from the Carolina Panthers in exchange for a fourth-round pick. In other Cowboy news, Dak Prescott will likely go on IR. He will miss at least 4 games with his hamstring injury. Jeremy Sohan suffered a fractured thumb in the loss to the Clippers. He is scheduled to have surgery this week. I'm Rob Thompson on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
From the studios of San Antonio Sports Star, reaching more sports fans than any station in South Texas. Welcome to the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
All right, hour number 3 of the Morning Huddle. And look at us, we're making a little audible. We're going to our guy. Normally, we hit up the hotline here at about 8:30, 8:40, talking to Dr. Jason Garrett of Veracity.
He has been remarkably caring because last week in my absence, he had told me that he wasn't going to be available. I didn't get a chance to tell you that, and you just called him wherever he went. And he did, like the true professional that Dr. Jason Garrett is.
Oh, I feel so
he
guilty.
Answered the call and did it with aplomb and greatness and carried through a segment.
Well, joining us now on the Buyers Barricade guest line is Dr. Jason Garrett from Veracity. Dr. Garrett, good morning, sir.
Yeah, I'm just a survivor. I can make a phone call from just about anywhere. It's the trials and tribulations of being me.
Well, we appreciate it, man. I didn't know I was putting you out last week. I apologize. But I mostly blame Rob.
Yeah, you should.
When it boils down to it. Well, we got a lot to talk about you this week, and let's start with Jeremy Sohan. Fractured left thumb. He's going to have surgery. What is, for a guy who dribbles a basketball for money and jumps up and grabs rebounds, like, what's the time frame and the recovery like for this?
You know, they're getting faster and faster with these surgeries. They go in, if it's just a broken bone, there's no ligament torn, there's no tendon damage they got to repair, then he can literally be back in a few weeks if they wanted to. If not, they want to rest it and make sure they don't re-injure it because it's early in the season, then probably more of the 6-week route is typical for these kind of things, but fingers heal really quickly. They're not weight bearing. As long as you put a pin in there, put things back together, as soon as those incisions are healed up, usually you can function pretty well with it.
What's the line between surgery and no surgery? What would make you go, well, might as well cut, as opposed to not cutting and bracing and doing all the other stuff and rehabbing?
So if you're a professional athlete or someone who needs your hands to work, usually surgery speeds up the healing process a ton because they put a little piece of metal in there that holds the bones together so it heals more evenly. And I'll give you a good example. So my daughter broke her hand about 8 weeks ago. Right in the middle of her hand, they could have put a pin in there, or they could just let it heal on its own. So letting it heal on its own, one, it's a lot cheaper. It usually is very healthy. There's no incision, no chance of infection, no chance of additional things going wrong. Usually heals pretty well, just takes a little bit longer. So speed is on your side with surgery, but also the increased risk of infection or something else going wrong. And it's a lot more expensive if you're the average person.
Shohei Ohtani has arthroscopic surgery, had a labrum tear in his left shoulder after he dislocated it in Game 2 of the World Series. He's coming back from elbow surgery on his right arm, his throwing arm. He does hit left-handed. Does this impact him I assume it doesn't impact him much as a pitcher, but how impactful is something like this for him as a hitter going into next year?
I don't think it'll have any impact whatsoever. The fact that he could swing with it torn and inflamed after dislocating it is pretty impressive. So after the surgery, it's going to be more stable. He's going to have plenty of power in there. If this is a throwing arm, then you're looking at a lot more concerns. But anytime you dislocate or even partially dislocate a shoulder, you're going to tear the labrum. It's just all those connective tissues is holding it together. You can't not tear it. So they go in, they shave it down, they put it back where it should be. He should have no problem next year.
All right, let's talk hamstrings and Dak Prescott. Non-contact throw. We saw him wince. It's worse than initially thought. IR is imminent. What the hell happened?
Well, hamstring pulls typically take 6 to 8 weeks, whether you've torn it or just pulled it. Because when you pull it, it's the fascia that holds all those muscles together so they can glide nice and smoothly. When you pull that, you tear some of that fascia. Even if you didn't tear muscle and there's no bruising or swelling, it doesn't really matter because now over the next 6 to 8 weeks, your body has to remodel along those lines of stress. And if you come back too soon, it re-separates some of those membranes, and then it creates the process where you've got to start from scratch all over again. If you watch the game, he kind of pulled it a little bit and he knew it on one of the runs, and then it's pretty typical. Like you can move, you're like, yeah, it's not too bad. It kind of feels tight because it kind of feels like a cramp. And then when you step back to use it, that's when he fully pulled it, when he made that throw, and you can just see him wincing as he threw it. If you've ever done that, it's very painful. It feels like someone's taking a knife and just ripping it up the back of your leg.
So
yeah, it's a 6 to 8 week recovery.
So we should assume that when he does come back, I mean, obviously the mobility was already kind of compromised. But how does this affect you as a thrower, if any?
It really shouldn't. Once it's fully healed, the throwing motion I wouldn't be concerned about. It's more when you take off to run and change direction. A lot of this probably stems from when he shattered his ankle, when he totally tore that up and dislocated everything. His ankle doesn't move as well, so everything else biomechanically has to pick up the slack. I'm actually surprised it took this long before something pulled on him.
Really?
Let's talk about CD's shoulder, the AC joint. We've talked about that a few times on this show, but do you expect that CD will be able to kind of manage this and get out there and play this week, or do you think he needs to sit out for a while and recover?
I mean, it depends on what you think of their season in the next couple games. If the season is salvageable and it's a mild AC sprain, he should be able to play. It's pain tolerance. He could make it worse, but for the most part, unless you get hit directly on it, you're probably not going to make it worse. Now, the risk is if he does fall directly on it, gets tackled, he could completely separate it, need surgery, be done for the season. Or if you think that the season doesn't really matter anymore, then shut him down right now, let him fully heal, let him come back later in the season, get some production out of him, and hope for the best.
My question was in game. In the game, he was holding his arms, coming off the field, holding it, and then going back on. I guess, like you were saying, they knew he had an issue and didn't feel like he could make it any worse, but it just seemed like it slowly got worse. And now we hear that he's got a tear in his calf, according to Jerry. Pain tolerance, I guess, is the thing with him right now.
Yeah, and you've sprained your ankle before, right? So during a game, you have a mild ankle sprain, and it hurts. You're like, man, that feels pretty bad. And then tomorrow you can't even walk on it, but you finished the game. Same kind of thing with an AC joint sprain. If you sprain it a little bit, it's going to hurt. It's going to cause some inflammation. The adrenaline's going, everything's moving, and after the game, it gets much, much worse. I'm less concerned about that than I am with a mild calf strain, a mild calf tear. Those can be really problematic because they tend to linger longer than they should because they don't seem that bad, and then they get worse over time.
We talked about Derek Carr a couple weeks ago with his oblique injury. Now Orlando Magic forward Paolo Banchero has an oblique injury as well. Would you assume that it affects you equally as a basketball player than a guy who throws a football, or a little less? Like what kind of timeline should we expect on Paolo?
Yeah, obliques are really weird because they can completely heal in a week or two. They're not like most muscles because they're basically just it's almost like a girdle around your torso that holds everything in place and gives you tensegrity for your spine. And so when you tear a little bit or pull a little bit, when they say it's an oblique, it could be a wide range of injuries and a wide range of areas on this. So for a basketball player, if it's a mild strain, I mean, he can literally play through it. If it's a really bad one, he might be out for a few weeks. It's very tricky with those.
And it feels like you treat obliques a lot like you treat hamstrings. You just kind of try to not use them, basically, until they get better.
Yeah, you want to put that connective tissue back as well as you can with some really aggressive manual therapy, probably some laser therapy, the different modalities you use. And then you want to put enough stress on it that causes a healing response, but not so much that it tears it more. And it's a really fine line. That it's not a science, it's more of an art when it comes to those things.
The craziest injury I saw this week in sports was Paul Blackburn, the Mets pitcher. He underwent surgery to repair a cerebrospinal fluid leak. They're saying he's going to miss 4 to 5 months after undergoing this procedure, which means he may or may not be ready for opening day. Explain what that is, a cerebrospinal fluid leak. How does something like that occur, and what kind of procedure can fix that?
Yeah, so if you think about your brain and your spinal cord, it's a fixed system that's self-enclosed, and you have cerebrospinal fluid that runs throughout the entire thing. If you somehow, usually this happens during back surgeries, like minor surgeries, where they go in and they accidentally nick your spinal cord, and what happens is that cerebrospinal fluid now leaks out. It creates a pressure imbalance, which leads to severe headaches. You remember Steve Kerr a few years ago when he had back surgery and then he had all those headaches and he was out for 4 or 5 months. That's because he had back surgery. They nicked the spinal cord a little bit, so it's not like they're causing nerve damage. It's just a sheath around it that's full of fluid that allows the spinal cord to move, and then it creates unbearable headaches and incredible pain until it. And the problem is it's not like it's easy to find because it's blood, it's fluid. You can't go back in there and just patch it. If you don't catch it while you're doing it, it's really hard to fix, and you have to wait for it to scar down, and then your brain to kind of reset all that pressure.
Jeez. All right. That is Dr. Jason Garrett from Arosty. Thanks for being flexible with us this morning. We appreciate the time, and we will talk to you next week.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Doc.
That's Dr. Jason Garrett. All guests appear via the Buyers Barricade guest line. Buyers Barricades provides traffic control, rental, and sales for San Antonio and beyond online at buyersbarricades.com. All right. What do I need to do here? I need to...
We got some tickets.
Oh, that's right. You know what? We're on the other side. It's a radio tease, Rob. In the next segment, we're gonna give away some comedy tickets, and lucky for you guys, I've got 2 pairs of them because I forgot to give them away yesterday. So we'll do that next. It is the Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
You got big plans for your property? Is it time to clear some land? Is it time to even things up, make that land look good through the fall and into the winter? Well, I have got an opportunity for you right now. If you're looking to do some stuff on your land, you need to go get yourself one of those tractors you've been eyeballing for years, one of those Kubotas. You've seen them on your friend's property. You've seen them around on ranches all throughout South Texas. You've heard the stories of the legendary Kubota, well, the reliability and their functionality. Now you got an opportunity like the Kubota BX and the L Series compact tractors. Part of their tractor lineup that's rated #1 in durability and owner experience. The Z-Series mowers and sidekick utility vehicles are the #1 in the market for 100 different reasons. But if you're not quite ready to buy and you still need to do some work, the good folks over at Ewald can help you with rental equipment. You can rent a Kubota that they'll bring out for the day, the week, or the month. I rented a skid steer a couple weeks back. They brought it out there. They showed me how to use it. They came back on time and took it back with them, and I got everything I needed done because that Kubota will take down a tree. It'll also climb one if you ask it to do. Unbeatable. excellence with Kubota. I was awfully proud to use it. Now, the thing about Ewald Kubota is they'll always be there long after the sale. That's why they've got these 11 locations around South Texas. The Ewald's been taking care of us. If you've always had your eye on one of those beautiful compact tractors, now's the time. 0% APR, a variety of incentives to get you the tractor that you've been looking for years. It's now available to you. Go to KubotaUSA.com for all the details. Listen, if you've always wanted one, if it was time to do some work on your land and you want the right tool at the right time, that's a Kubota. And from that, the Gulf of Mexico to the hill country of Texas, Ewald Kubota, it's your Kubota dealer.
If you miss the Blitz with Jason and Joe, then you miss this.
Like the whatchamacallit. That used to be a go-to.
A whatchamacallit? Not a big candy guy.
Well, all right, bah humbug. Like I said.
I'm just saying.
Like I said. But, I mean, there are, Butterfingers. That my wife didn't buy the bag that has the Butterfingers.
They're like a Butterface?
Oh, Jesus.
Right home with the Blitz. Afternoons 2 to 6 on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
GimmeTheVin.com, our expert buying team knows exotics, luxury cars, classics, diesels, lifted stuff, hot rods, inside and out. We buy them at GiveMeTheVin.com. It's a one-stop shop to get into a pool of absolute experts. Join my YouTube channel, John Clay Wolf. GimmeTheVin.com. They don't call me America's best car buyer for nothing.
Sell us your car. GimmeTheVin.com. So easy you can do it in your underwear.
In honor of Veterans Day, Twin Peaks is celebrating those who have given the ultimate sacrifice by giving back to Tunnel to Towers. Tunnel to Towers is a foundation which helps America's heroes by providing homes to first responder families. Get to Twin Peaks and donate $5 to Tunnel to Towers through November 30th and receive $5 back to spend on yourself at Twin Peaks this December. Visit your favorite Twin Peaks for more information. Valid at participating locations only. Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Hello, my name is Jason Thompson. I'm an attorney here in San Antonio, and since 1994, I've been representing people and families seriously injured by negligent drivers. Recently, we've all seen advertisements from attorneys here in San Antonio saying their firm does not get paid an attorney fee unless there's a recovery. And maybe you've heard, we don't get paid unless you get paid, or words to that effect. Well, that is what I've been doing for more than 30 years. I honestly did not know that there were attorneys in San Antonio that would represent an injured client and charge a fee if there was no recovery. You see, I practice law with basic principles, one of which is you never need an excuse to do the right thing. If you or a family member has been injured in a vehicle collision, including a commercial or business vehicle, an 18-wheeler, call me. The phone call and consultation is free. If you hire me, I will not get a fee unless there is a recovery. And this has been true for me and my firm for more than 30 years. My number, 210-900-0400. That's 210-900-0400. Or check out my website, alawyerforus.com.
Awesome Tickets is your personal ticket broker. Big games, big concerts, big events. Need tickets? Stay local and call Awesome Tickets. Stop paying all those crazy fees on ticket apps. Awesome Tickets has your tickets for all the sports, concerts, any city, any event. Avoid the ticket app fees. Since 1994, Awesome Tickets is local and veteran owned. You deserve Awesome Tickets. Call 210-226-5136 or online at awesometix.com. That's awesometix.com.
You can live out your MasterChef dreams when you find a professional on Angie to tackle your dream kitchen remodel. Connect with skilled professionals to get all your home projects done well. Inside to outside, repairs to renovations. Get started on the Angie app or visit Angie.com today. You can do this when you Angie that.
Let's bring the nail gun over here.
Jose stands tall atop his sustainable flooring company.
Totally. It's renewable and moisture resistant, but we have several green options too. Or we got some beautiful reclaimed oak.
But floored by his success, he needs to hire more installers.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Put our matching platform to work so you can spend less time searching and more time connecting with talented candidates. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
At the Institute for Functional Health, we're dedicated to helping you live life fully.
playing with your kids, golfing, and feeling great without relying on pills. We're not about treating symptoms temporarily. We're about extending your health span, the years you live in good health. I'm Dr. Torres, and for over a decade, my team has transformed lives by tackling health issues at the root. Tired of medications without real answers? Take control of your health with us. Call 210-468-1891 for a free Discovery Day consultation or visit IFFhealth.com. Improve your health span today.
Howdy, Ags. Andrew Monaco, the voice of the Aggies, inviting you to watch all A&M games at the Angry Elephant at 281 and Redland Road. Owned by Chip Ingram, class of 98, the Angry Elephant is known for their liberal cocktails at conservative prices and the best hot dog in Texas. Since 2012, the Angry Elephant's been the place to watch A&M, and this year is no different. Just down from the Big Blind, right next to the Rue Pub at 281 and Redland Road. The Angry Elephant. Like your bar, love your Aggies. Gig 'em.
What's on? 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, South Texas home of the NFL. Monday night, Thursday night, and Sunday night football. Presented locally by Flight by Yingling, the next generation of light beer. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. You're locked on the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
It's showtime! All righty, friends. We're going to give away some comedic gold here. I assume it's comedic gold. I actually haven't heard the comedic stylings of Veer Das, but apparently he's a very funny man. And I
know it's a man.
I did a Google search.
Googled him? Okay.
Yeah. He's a man.
Or I don't know what his pronouns are. I don't know.
I don't know either.
I just assume.
The internet didn't tell me that, but it did tell me that he is a man. He's a man.
A male persuasion.
Yes. And
and evidently funny.
And also that he'll be playing at the Aztec Theater on November 16th.
It's a good room.
And if you, let's say, for whatever reason, you're a loser and you don't win the tickets that I'm about to give away. Well, that sucks, but it's not the end of the world because you can go to livenation.com and get tickets there. You'll have to pay money for them.
Or don't we have another pair?
Oh.
Or
so you get two chances.
Maybe
to
in
not
an
be
hour
a loser.
they can hang around. At an
no,
hour
I'm going to do them both at once.
I'll do it both at once.
Oh yeah, I'm going to make two. I'm going to make the day of two people here.
Do they get if one guy can they get all four?
No.
Oh, all right.
Don't be greedy.
Well, I'm trying to figure out what Vic's going to do here.
Like I've already told people,
the first
there's
two
gonna
prime
be,
numbers.
There's going to be losers, and now you're like, let's make more losers. Let's make as many losers as possible. No.
On a day like today.
So here's the deal: if you are caller number 5 and caller number 8, though, you'll win tickets to go see Veer Das at the Aztec Theater on November 16th. That would be 10 days from today.
That'd be next Thursday.
No, it'd be next Saturday.
What?
Yeah, today's the 5th or 6th, right?
Oh, 10 days. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
8. I'm sorry.
You come on, man.
I'm
Math
trying
is
to get
hard.
my paperwork in order over
You're
here.
mathing ain't
I've
mathing.
lost a piece of valuable information.
What was it?
Doesn't matter.
Very important stuff. Was it about Jonathan Mingo?
I was trying to find his last legitimate catch.
It was at Ole Miss.
It was at Ole Miss some 3 years ago. Is that what I'm doing? Find my math.
Why, Johnny Mingo? Look like
part of the Mingo family?
You look like somebody just walked over your grave.
Kin to Barcavius?
Fight's not with you, Holiday. I'm a cowboy now. I beg to differ. Started a game we never finished. For blood, if I recall. I think that's how it goes.
I don't know what you're talking about.
What?
Is that what quote from what?
From Tombstone? Johnny Ringo? You don't remember Johnny Ringo?
Which guy was Johnny Ringo?
Johnny Ringo's the guy that...
I need to know the actor.
I don't know his name, but Doc Holliday says, I'm your Huckleberry.
Well, that's okay.
And they're supposed to have a shoot, and then they do have a shootout.
Was that Dennis Quaid?
No.
That was Val Kilmer.
Val Kilmer, yeah.
There's a couple of those Wyatt Earp movies. So Val Kilmer, I'll be your Huckleberry.
Yes.
All right.
But
that wasn't him that said that.
Johnny Ringo.
Who was Johnny Ringo?
He was one of the main bad guys.
Oh, bad guy. That sounds like okay.
So now I'm just calling Jonathan Mingo. I'm going to call him Johnny Mingo.
Okay.
And I'm going to talk to him like I'm Doc Holliday. all
that
the time.
movie did come out like 30 years ago. I don't
That's
think
like-
Johnny Mingo has any idea.
Everybody knows Tombstone except
I
you.
don't think so. I'm just saying.
Everybody except you knows
I
Tombstone.
like to think I know movies, and I didn't know what you were talking about. I didn't get it, but now I know, and I will do my due diligence. I'm sorry.
Am I like that? Can't be in my mind that Tombstone's like a highly quotable movie.
Well,
on the Brigade Bar, I need some feedback. Is Tombstone still quotable even 30 years after its
was
release?
it like the Huckleberry I got? I'm with you. That carried on.
Well, that's who he was talking to, Johnny Ringo.
But that was the only part that I remember. And Ringo didn't say it. It was Doc Holliday that said, "I'm your Huckleberry."
Fight's not with you, Holiday.
That was Johnny Ringo talking.
Yeah, and he said, "I beg to differ."
And who said that?
That's Doc Holliday again. When I talk like that, when I talk like Foghorn Leghorn, I'm being Doc Holliday.
Oh, okay.
I beg to differ, sir. We started a game we never got to finish. For blood, I believe. Because earlier in the movie, Johnny Ringo says, I play for blood.
So I'm still trying to figure out who Johnny Ringo is.
Let's see. Okay, here we go. Pledger, greatest movie and quotable lines in cinema.
What? Then you need to...
B. Castaneda, Michael Behan is Johnny Ringo. Rin, I'm one of the guys who watches Tombstone every time I see it on television. Alexandra, I know Tombstone and know you were quoting it, AJ. Hunter Hitch says, you tell him I'm coming, and hell's coming with me. Everybody's quoting Tombstone.
That one I did know. But I was giving that one to the other one.
All right.
Did they use that quote in both movies?
I don't think so. I think that Wyatt Earp movie sucks compared to Tombstone.
Well, evidently Johnny Ringo's a real dude.
Yeah, Doc Holliday was a real dude.
Well, I knew that, but I thought they'd made up characters. But there was, in fact, a Johnny Ringo.
Well, now there's
he is considered was the worst Wild West outlaw you never heard of. Once shot a man for snoring too loud.
Well, now we got Johnny Mingo, worst wide receiver this side of the Mississippi.
The look and feel of the Old West.
We started a game we never got to finish. That's because you could never score a touchdown, Johnny Mingo. That's right. Got to catch the ball to score a touchdown, Johnny. All right. B. Castaneda, Tombstone still elite. Yeah.
All right. I'll have to go back and rewatch.
Oh, classic. Classic. 1993. Maybe 92. 93, I believe. Johnny Mingo.
You were a child.
I was. And I
didn't even see it.
I've seen that movie probably a dozen times. It's one of the greatest movies ever.
Warped you.
Oh, man, it's good. That's a good-ass movie. We get some winners there, Vic? What do we got? Okay. I don't like
Johnny Ringo was a TV series?
I don't like you to type it like that. That's hard. Like, I didn't know if it was Gilbert David, but now I see it's Gilbert Moreno and David Garcia are the winners.
Yeah, that's my fault.
Looks like a law firm.
Yeah, I can't
Gilbert,
see the
David Moreno, and Garcia.
Yeah, that's a tough way to read it. Yeah.
My fault.
But that's all right. Gilbert Moreno and David Garcia. You guys, congratulations. You're going to see Veer Dawes. What a time it's going to be. What a time. All right. Yeah, almost every line's quotable. Worth every rewatch. I don't know how you...
I'm not
honestly,
trying to defame the movie.
People are embarrassed for you.
There were two movies. I watched them both. I didn't know which of the two was quoted. Because you had your Val Kilmer Doc Holliday, and then you had Dennis Quaid Doc Holliday, and they played them different, though they might have said the same thing.
No, people are embarrassed for you on
Well, I'm glad they're embarrassed for me.
They feel sad for you.
They should.
Like,
well, no, I'm not going to elevate Tombstone any higher than it needs to be elevated. It was a good movie.
You can't elevate it anymore because it's God tier.
It was good. It was good. It wasn't great.
Wow. That's you.
I mean, it was.
You
good.
have some crappy opinions.
These are correct opinions. You can grade them however you like. And if you're going to tell me a 1993 Tombstone is still one of the greats ever made,
I don't know
not
what
even in the top 5 anybody that starred in it.
I don't even know if what's worse, your opinion on Tombstone or the fact that you think Will Levis is a good sports player.
Will Levis is a fine mayonnaise spokesman, and I will stand by that to the end. The Hellmans have been flying off flying off. I mean, what are we after here? And if we're quoting Tombstone,
everyone quotes Tombstone.
Not everyone.
Everyone but you.
I don't think that myself and a couple of dudes in the Brigade Bar are really going to.
I want you to ask your dad about Johnny Ringo.
I can assure you, I know the answer to that one.
Or ask her brother.
Although Johnny Ringo, it turns out, was a TV series too. Ex-gunfighter Johnny Ringo is now the sheriff of a small western town.
Wow.
He kept the peace with his girl Laura Thomas and his deputy Cully.
Well, in Tombstone, he played a game for blood with Doc Holliday, and he lost. Even though Holliday was a lunger, he still got him. All right.
You're making fun of the sick.
Well, I'm not.
That's what him a lunger?
That's what Johnny Ringo called him.
A lunger?
A
Is that
lunger.
what they called the guys with TB?
Yeah, you're a lunger.
One more reason to dislike this movie.
What? Oh, you are you tuberculosis sensitive?
I care for the coughing.
I've had battles in my family.
I
with
care for the
TB.
coughing. I take care of the rabbit and the coughing.
If I were Johnny, if
I
you
think
meet
you need a
Johnny
home.
Mingo, he's going to call you a lunger the way you
Johnny Ringo, right?
No, Johnny Mingo now. Johnny Ringo's dead. Johnny Mingo plays for the Cowboys.
They're all the same. Both are about equal in my mind.
That's
Both
right.
have both equal effect on my life.
True story. True story. 100% true. Johnny Ringo, the Old West gunfighter, has the same amount of career touchdown catches as Jonathan Mingo, the NFL wide receiver.
Both of equal importance.
Who would have thought that would be the case?
And both matter to me about the same.
And in fact, Jonathan Mingo has lost more fumbles in his career than Johnny Ringo.
Who has the best tuberculosis?
Neither one of them had tuberculosis. But Johnny Ringo was killed by a man with tuberculosis.
Oh, he got killed. Well, then how did he
Spoiler
go on
alert.
to be a small town sheriff?
That movie or that TV show is bunk. That's nonsense.
I
It's nonsense, is what it is. All right, when we come back, we're going to talk to Eric Warner, who is the head brewer or brewmaster. I don't know what the word. We'll ask him what his official title is at Carbach Brewing. But first, I got to tell you about Underdog Fantasy, and I have myself an underdog lineup every night. Some nights I don't even really. I certainly don't care about the game. I'll tell you that. So last night, for instance, Pittsburgh was playing the New York Islanders, and I had seen somewhere that the New York Islanders are just dreadful on offense. They have the least amount of goals scored, and I said, you know what? I'm going to go to that Islanders-Penguins game, and I'm just going to play under goals on lower than a half a goal on all their goal scorers. I did it. Guess what? They scored one goal. One of the guys I picked. Not my problem. So those are winners. Winners, baby. And even if you lose, they've got the flex option. So if you take an L, it's okay. You still get some money. You don't get all the money that you would have gotten had you hit in all of your plays, but you still get some. And some, as we know, is better than none. I've been playing I think I'm going to be back on my nonsense with Wemby on rebounds tonight because I think he's going to give old Shingun the business. So I'm going to say higher on rebounds for Wemby tonight, and who knows what the rest of my lineup will. It'll probably have some action in it, to be quite honest, because they got college football, they got NBA, it's everything is available to you. They even do MMA props. So if you're this weekend for the UFC, over, under, or higher or lower amount of takedowns, higher or lower amount of total strikes landed, stuff like that. It's wild. Plus, they've got profit boost, discounts, free picks. They're running a special almost every single day. Download the app, sign up with the promo code ALAMO. Deposit now, you get up to $1,000 in bonus cash instantly. That's promo code ALAMO. Must be 18 or older, present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star traffic from News Talk 550 KTSA.
Good morning. As you get into your commute, I-10 westbound at Probat, south side of downtown, we do have an accident reported. It's in the left lane. 16-minute delay slow from Roland. On 1604 northbound Braun Road, that stall is still there. It's blocking the median. A little bit of a delay from Culebra. And then on the north side, 281 southbound right as you approach Sunset. That's a disabled vehicle, broken down, right shoulder blocked. I'm Debbie Alcacer, KTSA, Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Looking for a career you'll love with flexibility, great pay, and benefits, and one of the country's top workplaces? Join their growing team. Go to progressive.com/careers and apply online today. That's progressive.com/careers.
You know the Roo Pub has proven to be the best place to watch any big game with those 3 massive 170-inch screens and TVs all around. Football, basketball, all the fights. And when you show up at the Roo Pub, show up hungry. The food is fantastic. Open daily at 11. Great for lunch, great for dinner, great for late at night, and certainly the best place to watch the game. Just down from the big blind, the Roo Pub, right next to the Angry Elephant. 281 in Redland Road. We'll see you at the Roo.
Don't let pain hold you back from living your best life. I'm Dr. Jason Garrett with Arasti. At Arasti, we're dedicated to providing fast, effective relief from pain. Whether you've been dealing with a chronic discomfort for years or have recently suffered an injury, our goal is to help you recover quickly. Our treatment is all natural, non-invasive, and covered by most insurance plans. With convenient locations nearby, relief is just a call away. Visit Arasti.com. That's AIRROSTI.com. Arasti, we fix pain fast.
If you're looking for something light and refreshing to drink, give Love Street Blonde from Karbach a try. One of the best beers you'll find in Texas, a Kolsch-style blonde hopped delicately with floral German hops. This beer has a clean malt profile you're going to love. Check them out wherever you get your Karbach beer.
For a limited time, get a free K5 reverse osmosis drinking water system when you purchase a Connecticut water softener. Clean, great-tasting water at your kitchen sink. Hurry before they're gone.
Call 656-PURE, Connecticut.
Were you uninvited to game night? Do you play board games with the ferocious intensity of an iron-fisted oligarch? Have friends left game night asking, how do you sleep at night? Then you should get a mattress from Mattress Firm. They can help anyone sleep. It's Mattress Firm's Black Friday sale. Save up to $500 on Tempur-Pedic. Plus, get a $300 instant gift. Take 120 nights to love it or your money back. Get matched at Mattress Firm. Sleep at night. Restrictions apply. See store or website for details.
Football season is heating up, and Prize Picks is the best place to get real money sports action while watching football. The app is really simple to use. Pick more or less on at least 2 players for a shot to win up to 100 times your money. Download the Prize Picks app today and use code PRIMETIME and get $50 credit instantly when you play $5. That's code PRIMETIME on Prize Picks to get $50 credit instantly when you play $5. Prize Picks, run your game. Must be present in certain states where it is lawful to wager. Visit prizepicks.com for restrictions and details.
Ready to kick off your holiday shopping early? Ulta Beauty's early Black Friday event is here with up to 40% off the best gifts for everyone on your list, even you. Snag $15 cleansers from over 20 brands like Tula and Philosophy, plus $10 minis from brands like MAC and Urban Decay that deliver big joy in little packages. And don't miss 40% off select YSL and Armani fragrances. New offers drop every week, so head to Ulta Beauty today. Get all the best gifts, all at Ulta Beauty.
1, 2, 3, Cowboys! South Texas home of the Dallas Cowboys. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Sunday afternoon at 3:25. Settling in after 2 on the road. The Cowboys take on the Philadelphia Eagles at home.
I like this kind of party!
Pre-game starts at 2:30. Presented by AA Best Bail Bonds and Ewald Kubota.
This is home cooking.
How about them Cowboys? 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. South Texas home of the Dallas Cowboys. It's the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Morning Huddle, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Oh, maybe we got to get it to work. You got us? No. I'm going to grab him some headphones, Vic. Bring in our guest, Eric Warner. So here's the deal. Are we, is it the head brewer, the brewmaster, the brewmeister? What's the correct terminology for your job here?
Well, I'll make it even more complicated.
Oh, there we go.
I'll make it even more complicated. I would say at this juncture, brewmaster emeritus.
Oh.
Yes.
So what does that mean?
Is that like a doctorate?
Yeah, like do you get to go on sabbatical and study other beers?
Study other beers, but we've also sort of, handed the reins over to the next generation who's really day-to-day brewmastering all these awesome Karbach beers.
But what if they put out a beer and you sample everything before it's sent out to the shelves? Like before, if they say, hey, we got a new beer, it still has to go through you before any final decision's made, right?
Absolutely. And
'Cause you don't want your name on some junk.
Oh, of course. Dude. Only the best.
Yeah.
And I have veto power, basically.
Okay. All right.
Yes.
Do you specialize like a doctor as a brewmeister? Are you known like I do IPAs, or is that how you come up in the
He
business? and
literally
you grow
wrote a
into it?
book.
I mean, seriously.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of cut my teeth 35 years ago in Germany, so I got really well versed in the German styles. And then as IPA kind of took off, I had to learn, the IPAs and that kind of thing. But if you have the foundation, it's kind of like, I think if you're a general practitioner as a doctor, you can do other types of medicine. Maybe not going to be a surgeon or anything, but yeah, something kind of like that.
But you are Kolsch is like that's your wheelhouse, right? Kolsch Pilsners, that's kind of your go-to stuff.
Exactly.
And Love Street is the Karbach beer that is most represented by that.
Yes.
And
yes.
And of course it's the best seller, so you did it right. But how different is Love Street from like a traditional German Kolsch?
Not that different, really.
Well,
it's pretty close. We're using all kind of German hops in it and German type malts, and a German yeast, so it's pretty close.
Let's go deeper than that. Explain the difference between a Kolsch and a Pilsner. What makes them that as opposed to a lager or any of the other ones?
Basically, the type of yeast you use and the temperature at which you ferment it. A Kolsch is going to be a warm fermentation with a yeast that does well with warm fermentations versus a lager, which 90% of the beer in the world you get is lager. That's fermented cold with a yeast that performs well at cold temperatures.
And a Pilsner?
IPAs are using these warm yeasts.
And a Pilsner?
Pilsner is a subset of lager.
Okay.
So if you think white wine, as the umbrella, Pilsner might be like a Sauvignon Blanc or something.
Oh, that's a fancy word.
Oh, yeah.
You learned that in Germany?
Oui, français.
Yeah, okay. Now, you guys are the breweries in Houston, but you guys have really kind of branched out to where this is one of the bigger, if not the biggest now, craft brand in Texas, right?
Absolutely. And, San Antonio has been one of our markets from very early on. We had a very deliberate focus from the get-go to, be as dense as we could in our backyard. So Houston and, the counties surrounding Harris County. But then San Antonio was our next market after Houston. So, it's always been a really great beer market for us. Obviously, people love beer here like they do all over the state.
Yeah.
And it's we've been here for a decade now.
So what was the appeal on San Antonio to make San Antonio the next market? Like, was it just that there wasn't a lot of local beer here, so it felt like there was an opening?
Yeah, for sure. And we had some good connections. The Karbach story is kind of rooted in the distribution side of the business. Some of our founders were on that side of it. And so, yeah, we had some really strong retailer connections. There's obviously a very large, significant grocery store chain that is rooted here that we've always had good.
We just call them out. We say HEB.
Yeah,
I can't do that. I know.
I don't want you to get in trouble.
That for me.
We say HEB in this town. That's all right if you can't. We say HEB around these parts.
TABC would slap my hand.
No,
so.
I get it. Now, so just for people who are not indoctrinated, what separates craft beer? What are you guys doing different than say a Modelo or what Miller Lite, whatever's coming out? Like, what separates you guys from that?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just a commitment to using, unique, high quality ingredients. It's a lot of scale, right? It's the size of the brewery that you're at. When we started off, we were doing everything basically in 60 keg batches. The very large breweries, they would produce, thousands of kegs in one production run. So, we've grown over time. We're still nowhere near that scale, but it's basically a commitment to making kind of traditional styles with a unique twist to them is what craft is, unique flavors, high flavor.
How many flavors are in the pipeline? How often do you rotate a line or change a brew?
Yeah, that's a great question. So we have our standbys that we've had for a long time, like Hopadillo and Love Street, but then we're, constantly rotating, changing to the consumer tastes. As the IPA, for example, the whole hazy IPA craze, like when we first started Karbach, that wasn't even really a thing. I think like the Alchemist maybe had just started doing, their up in Vermont, the first hazy IPA, and it wasn't even called a hazy; it was called a New England IPA.
Yep.
And now, it's arguably the most popular, certainly in terms of acceleration of trends. Style are these hazy IPAs. So we have one offering in there. We're looking at another couple. We have our Hopadillo Juicy, which is kind of a one-off of a hazy. And
do you seasonal? How often is a seasonal thing part of the?
Yeah, so that's a great question. We started with a seasonal lineup from day one, but we are now going back to what we call our Fun Series, and AJ's familiar with that from back in his Houston days. And so we're going to these beers are going to come out on a rotating basis, but we're sort of dropping the moniker seasonal. The only ones that really kind of work are Oktoberfest and holiday beers, Christmas beers. And, distributors who are such an important, piece of the pie, of the puzzle for us, they get stung a lot with somebody's spring seasonal. They're still trying to sell it in July.
Right.
So we're going to this rotating series. I'll probably be about 5 or 6 of these. The first one coming out, it's going to be out any day now. It's called Dunkels and Dragons. It's a Munich-style dark lager. And then we're going to follow that up with one called Hoplectic at the beginning of 2025, a West Coast-style IPA.
So, and that's just going to keep – is it going to be the same ones on rotation, or are we going to see something new, every year?
I think the only thing for next year that we're committed to is doing the Carb Oktoberfest again. So Carb Oktoberfest will be a part of that lineup. But, we'll kind of play it by ear on some of these, and if one of them really does exceptionally well, we'll probably bring it back again. But, that's why we kind of have rotated away from this seasonal lineup, because we had a couple in there that we were doing year after year, and consumers were just kind of saying, hey, that's a great beer, but, boy, we'd love to see something new and different from you guys.
I'm sorry. It's funny, you talk about you've only been around for 10 years. It feels like I've been drinking Crawford Bock for longer than that. How do you? What's the plan for getting that beer in people's hands?
Yeah, great question on there. Crawford Bock, is decidedly a very Houston brand, right? And San Antonio, I think you've got.
I think I've had the bleed over. I'm seriously. I mean, I feel like I've been drinking.
Well, it's
Crawford
around.
Bock
It's
for
on
longer.
tap here.
Yes,
it's
it
everywhere.
Seems like it's a natural thing. And as you come up with those new offerings, how do we get that beer in people's hands without them seeing it on a pull tab or space on a shelf?
Yeah, I mean, we're a big success for our industry has always been things like festivals, beer festivals. We do a lot of product donations for people who are having events, and then of course,
we're having an event.
Oh, I'm sure you are.
Yeah,
you're
later today.
Once a week, probably, right?
It's kind of a daily, but
later today we're having an event.
We're gonna go watch Tombstone.
Set aside a couple hours.
Set aside 4 hours and a couple of Sixers.
You gonna do something or just stand there and bleed?
I'm gonna have some California IPA.
Explain to me are you guys at Worst Fest in New Braunfels this weekend?
I think at a limited capacity.
Okay.
Yes.
So let me ask you a question I've been meaning to ask you, and I haven't even off air. Crawford Bock, Ziegenbock. What's the difference between these beers? Why? I mean, obviously they taste different, but why are they just made in different styles? They both say Bock. What's different?
For sure. The Crawford Bock, for one, is actually made with an ale yeast. So we were talking about that earlier, right? Whereas the Ziegenbock is a lager yeast. The grains are a little bit different in them. The type of malts, I mean, they both sort of achieve that same net color at the end.
Mm-hmm.
But, boy, how do I put this simply? You can achieve color by putting a lot of something very dark concentrated in, or a little bit of something sort of light brown concentrated in terms of the malts. And so that's a difference between those two recipes as well.
When those sad sacks in Dallas, when they want to drink Crawford Bach. Would you guys call it something different up there, or is it just did they not drink it?
They
there?
just don't really get it.
That sucks for them.
Yeah,
man. It's such a good beer.
Yeah, I know. But
thank God we don't live in Dallas, Rob.
We know how these rivalries are. So,
You
but
know,
Ziegenbach definitely.
I thought Crawford Bach was kind of ubiquitous. They don't get it in Dallas.
No.
I because we're San Antonio and it was a Houston brand, I just assume it had gone statewide already. I really did. It's just
it's
on
statewide, just not Dallas.
Well, I'm just saying it's just about whenever I go, just about every pull tab I see, any at most bars, I'm seeing a Crawford Bach. I mean, that's just kind of the thing around here.
Yeah,
is that the biggest seller here in San Antonio?
Yeah, it's a big focus brand for us, right?
Yeah.
Love Street, Hopadilla, Crawford
And Love Street,
Bach.
yeah, that is pretty big too.
Those are a big three, right? And we're trying to ride those horses. They're pulling the weight, pulling the train, right?
Is IPA still the leader of the pack for beer connoisseurs? Is it still the wave that it's been over the last decade, or is it leveling off?
I'd say leveling off, but it's grown to such a huge percentage of what craft beer represents that it's very, very meaningful. AJ and I were talking about this. Lagers really are kind of becoming the craft lagers are accelerating, and we're always trying to play in that space. We have some things we're looking at for next year, as a matter of fact. And I think beer is it's a bit like easy analogy on a day like today. It's a bit like politics, right? It's a pendulum that sort of swings back and forth, and I think the flavor preferences went to a pretty cool, fun extreme. But I think people are kind of like, all right, I just want, easier drinking beer. Sometimes I don't have to think. I want something that's lighter that I can have several of.
Well, it's like if I drink some pastry stouts, or those like the smoothie sours, or even a bunch of hazy IPAs, I feel like trash the next day, quite honestly, because they're just loaded with sugar. But if I drink a couple Pilsners or like the Crawford Bach or whatever, it's like I'm drinking water overnight. Like I don't feel like I'm the next day like I've just had a sugar bomb is what what it feels like. So.
Yeah, perfect analogy or example. I mean, you talk about one of those beers, a 16 ounce of a pastry stout could be pushing 1,000 calories. It's like, what do they say? A Frappuccino or whatever is 1,000 calories plus versus, you drink a Pilsner or a light lager and it's only going to be maybe a couple hundred calories. So yeah, that's very legit, AJ.
How long do you guys keep the Carboktoberfest on shelves, and then at what point do we start seeing Christmas beers?
Yeah, so Carboktoberfest is cycling out right now, and like I say, the next one coming in is this Dunkel and Dragons, which is, we're not calling it a Christmas beer or holiday beer per se, but it's
got the notes.
Dark lager, nice malty notes as the weather starts cooling down. It's the perfect beer to have around the backyard campfire.
No stouts in the works, huh?
We do have some. We're starting to do some barrel-aged stuff, a little bit playing around with that, so stay tuned. Those beers take several months in the barrels to age. So, yeah, I know those are your favorite, AJ.
I always kind of assumed a Dunkel was a stout. How far off was I from that?
You're in the ballpark. I mean, stout is traditionally a Irish style of beer, UK-oriented. The Dunkel Lager is something that's from Bavaria, Germany.
Brown.
The stout's going to have that like roastier, sort of a little more bitter finish, whereas a Dunkel's going to finish more malty, sweet, and smooth.
That's your German brew history coming out there.
Coming out.
It is.
Can't escape it.
But now you got to tell them when you're in the next meeting, be like, hey, AJ's reading for us again. We got to get some stouts in the lines. We just got to.
They know. I've already told them.
All right, good. Well, Eric, thank you for coming in, man. Thanks for talking shop with us. Appreciate your support of our little program here, and looking forward to a long and fruitful relationship, man.
Thanks for having me in, guys. Really appreciate it.
When's the next big event at the brewery? I know you guys just had the Love Street Fest.
Yeah, I mean, we have a holiday market coming up in December. It's pretty cool. A lot of local, might even be later this month. A lot of local artisans come and they sell their crafts. It's like a little mini craft Christmas market. That's pretty fun. But we do a lot of private bookings, so if, our calendar is packed in December with people who are having their corporate holiday parties, whatever.
Well, and you guys also built a full-blown concert space.
Oh yeah, it's next to our beer garden. We can get our max events. We get over 3,000 people in there.
There's been some big acts roll through there. It's a fun time, man. That is a fun time. Eric, appreciate you, man. And I mean, you're welcome to hang out if you want, but we appreciate you coming in and talking shop with us. Next time, please bring some beer, just for science purposes.
Absolutely, tasting purposes only.
Yes,
that's right. All right, I got to tell you guys. First, I got to tell you, where's my thing? Here we go. The Dallas Cowboys, who everybody wants to hear about. Everybody loves the Cowboys. South Texas is home for the Cowboys. Is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. This week, Rob, I don't know if you're aware, the Cowboys welcome the Philadelphia Eagles into town. NFC East showdown. Not for first place, but there is a first place in the building, maybe. Well, let's just leave it at that. Starts with a pregame. That's at 2:30, presented by AA Best Bail Bonds and Ewald Kubota. You'll hear that right here on our fair little station. All right, friends, 1 hour to go. I'm not committed to what we're going to talk next. I've got some ideas in the pipe. I'll discuss them with Rob, and we'll shoot them out at you coming up next. It's the Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
You're locked on the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. KTFM Floresville. San Antonio Sports Stars 50K Pro Football Pick'em giveaway is back. Head to sasportstar.com and pick the winners of each pro football game every week to earn points for each correct pick. Highest points each week wins a $25 gift card to Mellow Mushroom. Highest points overall scores $1,000 worth of tickets from A Awesome Tickets. Pick the winning ticket of every regular season game. Win the grand prize, $50,000. This is an audience national contest across multiple markets. The 50K Pro Football Giveaway. Register and win at sasportstar.com.
This report is sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Looking for a career you'll love with flexibility, great pay and benefits, and one of the country's top workplaces? Join their growing team. Go to progressive.com/careers and apply online today. That's progressive.com/careers.
Time to start planning your Thanksgiving dinner, and that starts with the turkey. And the best turkeys are from Tri-County Meat Market. Tri-County gets their turkeys from Barber Farms in Colorado. These fresh, all-natural turkeys are never frozen and come between 8 and 24 pounds. Tri-County Meat Market only gets a limited number, so reserve your turkey before they sell out. Pre-order your turkeys and your pies from the Ultimate Cheesecake Bakery now at either Tri-County Meat Market location on Huebner Road or on Welfare Road.
Reason number 52 to choose Diamonds Direct over any other jeweler. Only Diamonds Direct gives you a 110% diamond upgrade guarantee. Let us explain. If you buy a diamond at Diamonds Direct today and decide in the future you want to upgrade to a larger diamond, Diamonds Direct will give you 110% of your original purchase price toward the new stone. For example, let's say you bought her a $5,000 diamond last year, but now she wants to upgrade to a $6,000 diamond. Diamonds Direct will give you $5,500 toward the new one. That's 10% more than you paid the first time. Guaranteed appreciation. Whether that first diamond was $3,000 or $30,000, you get 10% more. Who else does this? And unlike other stores who claim to offer diamond upgrades, at Diamonds Direct, there's no fine print and no minimum purchase requirement. It's 10% more, period. Come and discover real value and buy with confidence. Proud to call Alamo City home. Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion.
It's time to review the top 3 highlights of the day. I'm joined as always by my co-anchor Snoop.
Hey, what up, though?
Snoop, number 1 has to be getting the new iPhone 16 Pro with Apple Intelligence at T-Mobile.
Yeah, you should hustle down to T-Mobile like a dog chasing a squirrel chasing a nut.
Nice analogy, Snoop. Dogs do love to chase squirrels.
And squirrels love to chase those nuts.
On to highlight number 2, at T-Mobile, families can save 20% every month versus the other big guys.
That is very impressive. You know, y'all can take some of those savings and buy some Snoop merchandise.
That's exactly what I'm planning on doing with my savings, Snoop. Now, take it away, Snoop.
Head to T-Mobile.com and get the new iPhone 16 Pro with Apple Intelligence on them. Now drop that jingle.
with 24 monthly bill credits. Eligible trade-in on Go 5G Next. Well-qualified customers plus tax and $35 connection charge. Cancel entire account before receiving 24 bill credits, and credit stop and balance on required finance agreement too. Bill credits end if you pay off device early. See how you can save versus the other big guys at T-Mobile.com/switch. Apple Intelligence coming fall 2024.
Ready to kick off your holiday shopping early? Ulta Beauty's early Black Friday event is here with up to 40% off the best gifts for everyone on your list, even you. Snag $15 cleansers from over 20 brands like Tula and Philosophy, plus $10 minis from brands like MAC and Urban Decay that deliver big joy in little packages. And don't miss 40% off select YSL and Armani fragrances. New offers drop every week, so head to Ulta Beauty today. Get all the best gifts, all at Ulta Beauty.
Progressive knows finding your new home was a dream come true. You wanted it close to town, with a picture window overlooking a yard. And you found it. Now, when you sit down to dinner, you've got front row seats too. Your neighbor's daily pickleball game. Progressive can't save you from your noisy neighbors, but we can save you money when you bundle your home and auto with us. Get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers not available in all states.
At Fisher Investments, we may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
Are you really that different than the rest of us?
We are. As a fiduciary, we always focus on what's best for our clients.
What services do you offer besides investing?
We have a team of specialists in financial planning, estate planning, and more.
Your clients rely on you for all that?
Yes, we ensure clients receive unparalleled service at every step of the relationship.
Okay, but you still sell commission-based products, right?
No, because we believe that's a conflict of interest. We prioritize service over sales goals.
So, then how do your fees work?
We have a simple and transparent fee that's a percentage of our clients' portfolios. So we do better when our clients do better.
Wow, we're more different than I thought.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star traffic from News Talk 550 KTSA.
Good morning. We are working trouble spots on 410 westbound at North New Braunfels, north side of town. That rig is in the left lane. 6-8-minute delay has you slow from Interchange Parkway. On 35 southbound at Walters, that rig still blocking the median. And I-10 westbound past Keevers, accident right lane. And Debbie Alcacer, KTSA, time saver traffic.
San Antonio Sports Center.
The Dallas Cowboys made a move at the trade deadline, acquiring wide receiver Jonathan Mingo from the Carolina Panthers in exchange for a fourth-round pick. In other Cowboy news, Dak Prescott will likely go on IR. He will miss at least 4 games with his hamstring injury. Jeremy Sohan suffered a fractured thumb in the loss to the Clippers. He is scheduled to have surgery this week. I'm Rob Thompson on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Sports Center is brought to you by Buyers Barricades, the Texas Authority in Barricade Rental. BuyersBarricades.com.
From the studios of San Antonio Sports Star, reaching more sports fans than any station in South Texas. Welcome to the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
We've got I wanted to play a little sound from Jer about this year, and the question I have is probably the question we all have, Rob. Why in the hell are you still confident that this team it can do anything?
You're asking
I'm asking if I were to ask Jerry Jones.
Because he believes he's the smartest guy in the room. You're not going to convince a guy who thinks he's smarter than you that he's made a mistake.
Well, here's him explaining why he still has confidence this year, and this was up on 105.3 in Dallas.
Well, I think that you don't see it in the 3 and 5, and you, of course, Bill always said, Parcells, you are what you are. But what you do see is a group that, because of its again, a couple of rookies there in that offensive line, we can see that getting better and not making those mistakes, period, pre-snaps or otherwise, penalties. But I see that as a potential upside going into the future. They'll play better. they do some things that are real impressive. I'm talking about our rookies there in the offensive line. And that, to me, when I look ahead, I see that improving. I think we can do some things. We're going to bring a receiver in more than likely today that we've really have thought a lot of and wanted to draft him, and so we're going to get a chance to get him. So I can see improvement, much less the players that we haven't had. Now, all the teams are dealing with injury, as we well know. But we've got some players that are right here, ready to come in, probably as early as this week, but certainly over the next 2 weeks that could really give this thing a different look. Plus, on defense, what Zim's trying to do, you've got another week under your belt. We'll get better at that. And so I look at all of that as a positive. There's no question that Dak's injury is a setback, but we've seen Cooper do it. We know what we need to do relative to the strategies on the offense. We just need to come together and game by game use all of our players to the extent it helps us.
Well, you were right about one thing. Liked him in the draft.
I told you. But his defense to the situation he finds himself is, it can't get any worse. That's what he's telling you. It can't get any worse. That's what his defense was. Now, I know it's bad, but the good news is it can't get any worse. We're going to have some guys come back. Did he mention his offensive line? Did he say something? We're hoping they're going to be better. What exactly? They can't be any worse.
Yeah, they're going to.
Can't be any worse.
It's funny when people are like, "Well, there's going to be a natural, uptick." No, sometimes
you were losing with those guys too. We lost games with those guys when they were healthy, and we're losing them when they're gone. But guess what, guys? It can't get any worse.
It can't get worse. Actually,
and we got this guy that we've liked for 4 years. Nobody else liked him, but we still like him. He coming from the worst team in the league, and
couldn't
he's
get on
going to
the field
feel
for them.
Real comfortable here. In fact, the quarterback play that he grew accustomed to in Bryce, he's going to feel perfectly at home when he gets here. And it's hard to find wide receivers that are accustomed to having quarterbacks not get him the ball or get him that ball really late. So finding guys that are used to that is hard. So we gave up a 4th rounder. He thinks he's the smartest guy in the room. And until proven otherwise, he's going to continue going this way.
Well, what do you mean until proven otherwise? Is not.
Well, I mean, in his
have we
mind.
Not reached that?
No, in his mind.
Gotcha.
Until I have been proven that I'm not the smartest guy, and I happen to own the most expensive franchise in the world, if you hadn't noticed. I can throw money right and left. When you buy when you should sell, and when you sell when you should buy, that's a recipe for failure. And he did that too. So you can plead ignorance, but it can't get any worse. Can't get any worse.
I still can't get over the fact they gave up a 4th round pick for a guy who looks like again, it's early to call a guy a bust. It's his 2nd year, but it doesn't look. Returns have been poor, let's just say, and you gave up a 4th round pick for that guy after giving up a 4th round pick last year for Trey Lance, who's at this point has just been a total. I mean, that what a waste of a draft pick. You know what I mean? There's no other way to put it. It was a wasted, other than the fact that he basically played all the snaps in preseason.
Well, the power is off, and he went and bought a lamp that plugs in. Okay, we got a new lamp. Eventually, we'll be able to plug it in. Maybe it'll work. Right now, it got us a new lamp, though, but the power's off, so we don't know yet. That lamp, when it was over there, it didn't work over there, but here it's going to plug in. We can't use it yet. We keep trying to make sense. This was activity for activity's sake. Don't let anybody kid you. He pulled a move just to prove to everybody, hey, I'm trying. Hey, I went and got us a wide receiver. We got some activity things stirring. We got some guys getting healthy. Can't get any worse.
There were guys like Roschon Johnson, the running back from Texas, played pretty well up in Chicago, was available in the 4th round this last year. Instead, you got Trey Lance. And instead of that, you've got Zeke Elliott and Dalvin Cook pretending like they can still play football in the NFL.
I'd like to
you
address
got
those
Trey Lance
on its individual merits, and each one at the time. I would like to say again, it couldn't have gotten any worse. At every one of those moves, I could say, it could have been worse. I could have given away a 3rd.
And he's like, What do you mean I'm selling high and buying low, or buying high and selling low? I bought Dalvin Cook when no one wanted him. I bought Zeke Elliott when no one else wanted him.
And then I left him at home.
What an absolute disaster this season has become. I'm someone who I don't feel sorry for the Cowboys ever, because the Cowboys have had plenty of success, even in my life. And I imagine for people older than me have seen a lot more of it. Probably awesome. So I don't feel bad for them, but I borderline feel bad for them.
Well, it's the delusional aspect of this that is so astounding. Some owners are just, they don't care. We're losing, big deal. This is my salary, I'm going to pay it, and we lose, I'm going to hire another guy to come in through it. But to have an owner that he does care, but he's just dumb. I mean, just doing things wrong. I used to take great pride. At least my team, my guy tried hard. He might have made the mistake, but at least he was out there swinging the bat. Now, sit down, man. Go away. Stop this.
This feels like late Al Davis.
Just
late career Al Davis, still making moves that this is what wins football games. It's like, dude, you haven't won in a long time. I don't think you need to get.
Yeah, but you're talking about me.
You need to get more guys around you that are understanding of what the modern NFL is like. And, you're when you got a dinosaur running the thing, you're going to get dinosaur results.
Did he really just bring up the offensive line? Did he
That's crazy.
Really mention the fiasco that this offensive line has become as a bright spot that these guys, well, I guess, again, it can't get any worse.
Think about, what was it, week 3 or 4? When you said the offensive line wasn't playing well to McCarthy, and he was like, I couldn't disagree more. Our offensive line has been great. It's like, what?
I don't know.
What are they seeing?
Those young kids, they couldn't get any worse.
It is and I do get it, because like I always tell people, when you have a fantasy team, you have a higher value on your guys than other people value them. Like, you look at, this is my guy. I drafted this guy. This is my guy. Yeah. And so what you think he's worth, that's not what the rest of the world thinks he's worth. That's why often there's bickering about these trades in fantasy football. It's not that different. It's really not that different. This is a guy that I value here. Like, clearly Jerry valued Johnny Mingo, as a second rounder a year ago. And despite all the things that have said Johnny Mingo was not a good second round pick, Jerry's still like, nah, I saw it. That's a second round pick. And I'm getting him for a 4th rounder. That's what I would call value. It's fascinating that these guys still hold tight to that, even when presented with evidence. It's like saying, my wife would never cheat on me. And then someone shows you a video of her with some dude in your bed, and you go, no way, that's not her. It's right here in your face. No, can't be. My wife would never do that. There's at some point you are what we see you as, like.
But he does. I keep saying, he thinks he's the smartest guy in the room. He hears things on frequencies we can't hear. He's seeing the code drop that we can't see. You can't talk sense to somebody like that. You can't convince them that they're wrong, because they think that you are inherently not seeing what they're seeing. And in every instance, if you knew what I knew. My definition of all in is very different than your definition from all in. How we win, I've been doing this for 20 years. You're not going to come tell me. Look at what you have done, man. We can just backtrack to just the beginning of this season. An hour before kickoff, when you signed Dak Prescott and hung a noose around your neck for next year for roughly $90 million salary cap hit. That's what you did as we began the season. Now, we could go further back. But if you believe that was the best move for the Cowboys, yes, today I can see why you come to me and say, can't get any worse. It's only going to get better from here.
Yeah. I will say this. You're right about one thing. I'm
right about a lot of things.
I don't see things the way Jerry sees things.
No one sees things like Jerry. But Jerry falls back and counts his money and goes, well, you know what? At the end of the day, I got more of this than you do.
And you know what? You're right about that, too. He does have more money, and it's his toy. And if he wants to... That's what I always told my kid. Hey, you want to beat up your toy with a hammer? Do it, bro. That's your toy. You ain't get another one.
If he came out and just said, you know what, it's my team, and this is the guy I like. If you have a problem, go someplace. Because I've been doing this all the time, acting like it was for you, but it's always been for me.
I would prefer that.
Just come out and say, you know what? Yeah.
I would much prefer
I like
that.
Dak. I'm going to hang around with him. I know we're going to lose some games, but I like him.
Yeah.
I'm going to pay him $40 million a year to hang out with me.
Yeah, I know Zeke is kind of washed, but
have you partied with Zeke?
He did some good things for us, and I appreciate him.
Pulls, man. I'm hanging out with Zeke. I'm going to pay him some money. I brought him back.
Yeah, I'd appreciate that honesty rather than just say I thought Zeke Elliott could still play football.
Or you come out and just say, we whiffed, man. I made a mistake.
I'd appreciate that too. I would really appreciate that, but that'll never happen.
If he would just come out and say, you know, that Derrick Henry thing, damn, what the hell was that thing?
Yeah, you know what? You're right. I should have. Part of my all-in should have been on Derrick Henry.
And apologies to fans and Heron and Derrick and Mama Derrick Henry, everybody with the Henry family. I whiffed on that one. I will live to regret it, and I will do my best to overcome it from here on out. And I think we'd all applaud him. All right, at least you're seeing things like we're seeing.
Because think about it. Imagine right now you'd sign Derrick Henry the deal he's got, which I'm sure at the end of it won't be a good deal. Or you could have not, and to do that, you would have not signed Dak this offseason, and you'd let him be playing it out. You'd feel a lot better about your standing as a franchise right now.
We say that about Derrick Henry. I'm not sure anybody could have run behind that line. I mean, there's a lot of things that you could jest, but I mean, we are the sum total of what they have done. And here we sit, minus a quarterback. Even Lance isn't going to play. I mean, even the other fourth-round pick that you gave him, he ain't even going to play.
Oh, what a time to be a Cowboys fan. God bless you guys.
Good for business.
Yeah. Hey, keep fighting the good fight, guys. Keep fighting the good fight, and one day it'll almost certainly work out.
Okay, what do you think the over-under is for paper bags on heads in the stadium? I'm not kidding. I expect to see them. I think we're going to see paper bags on heads on Sunday.
I honestly hope you do.
Hope.
But the deal is, when you wear the paper bag on the head, you still got to drink something. You still got to eat something.
Yeah, Jerry's still making money.
You already paid your way in. And most of those guys with bags on their heads are wearing 88 jerseys or 4 jerseys. So Jerry doesn't care if you got a bag on your head.
Well, I do think when it comes to that, he does. I do think when it comes to public humiliation in his house, I think that will.
Oh, well, hopefully he wasn't there for the Ravens game. Because that was about as public of a humiliation. Oh, just kidding. The Lions game happened too.
Wait, no, it was the Saints. Wait, no, it was the Lions. He's been witness to several.
But hey, don't forget, we ran on that Pittsburgh Steelers team.
That we always have Pittsburgh to look back. There was that one night
in San Antonio. We remember the Alamo. In Dallas, they remember the Pittsburgh game.
They both ended about the same way.
Right. When we come back, we'll talk about things that are happening in the world outside of sports. It's the Morning Huddle on 94.1.
You wake up this morning in pain. Is there something just keeping you out of life? You know, so many of us live with things that just bother us. You know, you lift your shoulder and it always hurts. You wake up in the morning and your back is always tight. You just can't go meet your friends to go do something. Don't let something painful keep you out of life. That's why Orasti providers have been so successful in San Antonio and around the country, is because they get you out of pain and they do it quick. And the reason it works so successfully with so many different patients around San Antonio is how they do it, because it has nothing to do with pills to dull or hide the pain, not about surgery to prolong it. I'm talking about your body fixing itself. I am a patient. Let me tell you, I had lower back issues most of my adult life. Getting that one little trends that puts you on your back for a week that turns into 2, and before you know it, it's been a month before you could do anything. That was my life until I limped into an Orasti provider. And let me tell you, he got me fixed, and he got me fixed fast. 4 visits, I'm back in the game. That can be you. Great thing about Orasti is you don't need a referral. You can go today. Write this number down. It's 1-800-404-6050. Their website is Orasti.com. It's spelled funny, AIROSTI.com. Go there. There's a map of all the different providers. I bet there's one less than 10 minutes from where you are right now. And also, hey, go tip on the tips and tricks, things that'll keep you healthy and keep you out of pain. Listen close. Don't let pain keep you from doing things that you love. There's a fix out there. It's Orasti. Call them today. Let them take care of you. And once you're feeling good, come on by and thank me later.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star Traffic from News Talk 550 KTSA.
Good morning. We are working trouble spots on 410 westbound at North New Braunfels, north side of town. That rig is in the left lane. 6-8-minute delay has you slow from Interchange Parkway. On 35 southbound at Walters, that rig still blocking the median. And I-10 westbound past Heavers, accident right lane. I'm Debbie Alcacer, KTSA, Time Saver Traffic.
What's that? 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, South Texas home of the NFL, Monday night, Thursday night, and Sunday night football. Presented locally by Flight by Yingling, the next generation of light beer. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
This report is sponsored by Progressive Insurance. With Progressive Insurance, you can make sure your family is well taken care of with life insurance. Protect your phones, laptops, and more with electronic device insurance. And cover your furry friends with pet health insurance. Visit Progressive.com. That's Progressive.com.
NCE General Contractors, based in San Antonio, is one of the fastest growing nationwide general contractors with a focus on commercial new construction, design build projects, building renovations, tenant finish outs, site upgrades, and building maintenance. NCE President Brian Ehrlich's a former Madison quarterback and proud to support high school football in San Antonio, building relationships first and buildings that last. Learn more about NCE General Contractors online at ncegc.co. That's ncegc.co.
Flight by Yingling. It's the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yingling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass, raise the bar. Flight by Yingling. Available wherever beer is sold. DG Yingling & Son Incorporated, Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please enjoy responsibly.
At the Home Depot, we know Saturdays are for college football. That's why we have everything you need to never miss a play. Like North America's #1 home fire safety brand, Kidda. Because on a day full of football sounds you love, like fight songs, roaring crowds, and your favorite commentators...
like me, Kirk Herbstreit.
The last sound you want to hear is... Defend your game time with Kidda and the Home Depot. How doers get more done. Based on total household installations as of December 2023.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Getting ready for more rain and longer nights? We've got you. Right now, you can earn up to $25 in bonus rewards when you buy 2 Sylvania Silver Star Ultra bulbs and 2 Rain-X Quantum Elite wiper blades. More rewards and better visibility at America's #1 lighting destination, AutoZone.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Offer valid for AutoZone Rewards members. Restrictions apply.
Imagine your team always looking and feeling their best in high-performance technical workwear. Cintas can make it happen. They have garments for almost every job imaginable. And with the Cintas Workwear program, you get freshly laundered garments delivered every week for everyone on your team. Great garments without the bother of laundry. That's a real perk for employees. Find out how Cintas can boost team image and morale. Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, the Scratch Kitchen delivers lunch in the clutch. I mean, where else can you order a 29-degree draft beer and a quickie combo on your lunch break? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
When you are just craving something salty and packs a crunch, Southern Recipe Pork Rinds is your crunch time decision. Game day just got a whole lot crunchier thanks to the powerhouse snack, Southern Recipe Pork Rinds. We're talking about crispy, golden bites of pure awesomeness. Pork rinds are your MVP snack. And get this, they're low carb and high in protein, so you can keep the energy high without the guilt. Don't settle for ordinary on game day. Grab yourself a bag of Southern Recipe Pork Rinds at H-E-B today.
This holiday season, Straight Talk Wireless is letting you say yes a lot more with real unlimited data. Yes to sharing pics of the ugliest holiday sweaters. Yes to checking weather on the go for surprise sledding trips. And with a free phone at sign up, let the yes-tivities begin.
No way!
Yes way. Straight Talk, real unlimited data. Available at Walmart or straighttalk.com. Offer valid through 1/5/25 while supplies last at participating stores. Taxes and fees apply. Requires in-store activation on select single-line plans. Limit of 2 phones per customer. For network management practices, visit straighttalk.com.
It's the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
Boom, doo-doo-doo-doo. Morning Huddle. AJ and Rob getting you through a hump day. Hump day?
I want to tell you about the...
Let me tell you something, Rob.
Little red pill.
Let me tell you something, Skip. Can you move your toe? Oh, Michelle. I wonder what Michelle's up to these days.
There's no Michelle.
You don't think she was
That
even a
was
real
AI.
person?
No,
well,
that
no,
we
there
were
was
hoodwinked.
No, there was someone.
There was somebody there.
I think.
I heard her.
Well, I heard. I'm not sure.
I heard Shannon giving it to her.
I think that was. I think that was Skip in the background.
Let me tell you something, Skip. We ain't working together, but we can still.
Skip, why don't you move your toes, Skip?
We can still do this. I'll be honest. It was very, very difficult to find non-sports stories today that didn't involve
polls,
political
reds,
stuff.
blues.
You know, and I didn't want that. I wanted to have some fun today. So I basically had to dig deep, and I found the MTA up in New York, the Brooklyn Bridge Park. MTA workers were sometimes using the shop's bathrooms during their breaks. And this Brooklyn Heights grocery store has now posted signs telling that no one is allowed inside because no MTA workers are allowed inside because a bus driver got into an argument with the shop's manager. So he said, one bus driver argues with me, the whole company's banished. You're out. We cannot serve or allow any MTA workers in the store or cafe, says a sign taped to the window.
You ever met an MTA worker?
Bus drivers? Now, is there a hierarchy? Like, is a city bus driver a higher or lower grade than the guys that run the subways?
Oh, you mean the subway rats?
Like the guys that drive the subway trains?
We call the MTA call them rats.
Oh,
if you ever go underground, you're a rat. So the bus driver, they're preeminent. They control their own vehicle. They can stop at will.
They can turn. Yeah.
They got a reverse.
Yeah.
They can see the light of day. I think they rule. I think the bus drivers probably kick the ass of the.
So the subway driver. What are they? Are they pilots or would they be a conductor?
I think they just call them rats. I think they're engineers. I think would be the.
I wonder if they're allowed in the store when they come up from the sewers.
Ugh. You don't want to let them in your bathroom,
man. Well, and one of the guys is like, with the bus drivers are complaining they don't have places to use the bathroom. They got rid of to the point the MTA got rid of the employee that argued with this shop owner because it was so important for these guys to go in and use the restroom. But these guys are like, yeah, we're not letting you in our store anymore.
Oh.
The mayor is now saying that he's going to build or renovate 82 public restrooms to make.
That's really the answer. We need more public restrooms in New York.
New York City. That's what they need.
Yeah, they need more. We need more darkly lit.
I think people would be less likely to pee on the street if there were public restrooms.
Oh no, you can go into those bathrooms and there's a variety of things that can happen to you. Good things.
Always good things.
We need more darkened public restrooms in New York. That's what we need.
You're making New York sound like a third world country.
I don't know what the fix to this is. I think it's absolutely silly. I mean, your MTA
they're not
guys
sending
kind
their
of got to go to
best.
the bathroom, man.
The MTA guys, they're not sending their best. They're sending their worst.
So our fix.
We don't allow them in. We build a wall. We build a wall outside our cafe. You're just not allowed inside.
I think all around New York, there's a key to the bathroom, and you have to carry around a big hubcap. And
that's a good idea.
Get the hubcap, carry that around.
That's a good idea.
Or just use all the Times Square as just one big bathroom, which it kind of is already. Just one big toilet.
Well, that's like when we went to that what you call an RMR,
a random Mexican food restaurant.
Yeah, we went to that one, and I got the key to go outside to the bathroom, and I went out there, and the guy in front of me just pushed the door open, and there was a dude in there taking a dump.
Looking out to the bathroom, looking out to the alleyway. Pardon.
And, of course, there's me and another dude standing in line just seeing this dude, and, like, the guy who pushed the door open just walked away. I reached over and shut the door, but it's like...
I'd have turned the light out and shut the door.
Oh, that would have been the worst. Oh, that would have been the worst. But
one thing the world needs is more dimly lit, moist public bathrooms.
It can't hurt.
I mean, nothing really makes your day more than having to use one of those. I like the highway rest stop idea.
You like that?
I like the.
They are well lit.
I like the low concrete wall kind of thing where you're in it. It's you and the bitter cold wind, baby.
Yeah.
You walk in there and you have reached the very bottom rung of life. When you're in a highway truck stop in one of those bathrooms, that's the end.
Are you familiar with Hezbollah?
Well, I'm a practitioner.
No, Hezbollah Magomedov.
I thought we were talking about
the internet personality.
I have no idea of what you speak.
Who, Hezbollah?
I know
yeah.
Hezbollah. But
you know him?
Yeah.
Well, most of those guys had walkie-talkies and blew their ears
No,
off.
not
but
Hezbollah.
Not those guys. Oh,
Hezbollah.
Hezbollah.
He is. He's a small person. He's
by what do you mean?
He's 3 feet tall. He's got a growth hormone deficiency, but he's 22. When
is this the dude that looks like a child?
Yes. Yeah.
That they always show him walking.
Yeah.
That's not a child. That's a grown ass man.
22-year-old man.
Yeah.
This guy, right?
Yeah, that's the guy. That's a man.
That's a 22-year-old man, a Russian man. Have you seen him? So.
I bet there's a weird tattoo behind his ear.
So he met Mike Tyson, and
I've had that dream.
Mike Tyson was like you, unaware that he was a grown-up. So Mike Tyson picked him up and cradled him like a baby.
The same thing, man.
Oh, no.
And like pretended to nibble on his ear, like he just he was kissing him on the head like he was a baby.
No.
And he hates it when people treat him like he's a kid. But Mike Tyson was like coochie cooing him, and he didn't say anything. He was just like,
this baby needs a shave.
He was like, I thought it was a baby. He's like, he said, I just could not process that this was an adult. As we know, Mike Tyson is fighting Jake Paul. What is it?
Netflix,
It's like 2 weeks.
2 weeks, yeah.
Is it on Netflix?
It's on Netflix. They both came out and supported Donald Trump this last week. I thought that once Jake Paul came out and supported Trump, that Tyson would just go against him no matter what. But they both were Team Trump.
So does the little baby dude, does he sound like an adult, or does he have a baby voice?
No, he sounds like a
he
sounds like a munchkin.
Yeah, he sounds like a kid. But not, I mean, he's.
So do we have proof that he's really 22?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, he's grown, but I see. I mean, every time I see him, I'm like, oh, his face looks like a toddler face.
Yeah.
Just looks like a little kid. So it's not crazy. And finally, these Oasis fans, on average, they found out they took an average of the people that got defrauded by ticket scammers for this Oasis reunion show.
Mm-hmm.
On average, they lost $350 each. And this is several thousand people lost $350,000 each.
350 each.
Yeah, $350 each.
I thought the tickets were a lot more than that.
Oh, they were.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about after they took care of it, they were still out money.
Okay.
Yeah, so like,
so
we're going to make this right.
But those service fees, they really do disappear.
Yeah, that is gone. They had 1.4 million tickets available in August. Tickets for the UK dates went on sale in August. 1.4 million tickets. They sold out. 10 million fans from 158 countries were in the queue to get tickets. And there was apparently a, quote, landslide of scam artists. The 90% of ticket scam cases started with fake advertisements on social media, with those aged between 35 and 44 most likely to be targeted.
I was going to say, it's all us old people. We don't know what we're doing. We got this ticket wallet and there's clicks and things, and we're clicking, and before I know, I've clicked my way right out of the tickets.
I think I would have done it too.
I've seen this. And see, the Swifties got it, but these are kids. That's an adult. We didn't know we got hammered.
Yeah, they're hipper to it than us.
So it's the old dudes that got lost in the Oasis maze trying to buy the tickets.
The average ticket price cost almost $600, which in like to put it in comparison, Taylor last year when she played in the UK, the average ticket was about $360. That's how big Oasis is in England, I guess. So, but yeah, well, I guess it was $600 plus the $350 that you're out after you got scammed. But some tickets were up. People lost out on over $1,000 just in scam ticketing fees.
And it's Oasis.
I know.
I mean, I don't want to deride the fans, but it's Oasis. It's not like
that's what I'm thinking. I'm like, I don't know that
what did I miss.
I don't think I would pay $1,000 to see any concert,
even at their biggest, even when they were the biggest band they had ever been. $600? What?
Like, Beatlemania would have been over in about 10 minutes if tickets were $600.
I never got the allure of these dudes. There's nothing. They did nothing different. They were just there for about 3 years, and then different came. But for a while, we had them, and now we're going back to that.
Slowly walking down the hall, faster than a cannonball.
You're a champagne supernova.
That's
okay,
deep stuff, man.
Man,
that's deep stuff.
It was a good time, and they were a good arena band, and those are hard to come by. I get it as far as a big show. They put on a good big show, but really.
Where were you while we were getting high?
Listening to better music.
All right, when we come back, we'll do what we always do to close out the show. We'll take a look at the daily line, see how we can make some money out in the desert. I got to tell you guys about Karbach. Karbach Brewing, you may have heard of them on today's program. Fine sponsor of this show and a fine purveyor of beer. And the Love Street Blonde, it's everywhere. And I know what you're thinking. If you're a craft beer guy, or if you're a beer guy, if you like to drink beer, you're thinking, I just order the same thing because everybody's got it. I'm telling you now, HEB is going to have it. Obviously, any liquor store you go to is going to have it. But most of the bars and restaurants that you're regularing, they've probably got it too. You just haven't asked for it because you're so ingrained in asking for the same thing over and over. But you could be drinking something better. Something that's delicious and can make you happy. Why would you keep drinking the other stuff when there's something better there for you? Love Street Blonde is their best seller in San Antonio. It's all over the place. Hopadillo's their IPA, their flagship IPA. And Crawford Bach, to me, is of their everyday drinkers, it's my favorite one. It's just so versatile. It's great when the weather's warm, great when the weather's cool. It's just an all-around fantastic beer. You can find them all over the place. If you get out to Houston, stop by the tap room. They've got about, 15, 20 beers on tap there, and a fantastic food menu. They do concerts all the time. Follow them on the socials to see what's coming out new. And when you're out and about, ask your bartender, hey, you guys have any Karbach? Bet they do.
Dallas Cowboys head coach Mike McCarthy goes one-on-one and has some fun with the Morning Huddles, AJ and Rob, Friday mornings.
Now, you don't got a contract. You got nothing to lose. Is a 70-yard field goal in the offing soon? Will we see that this year?
Depends on the win this week.
Mike McCarthy's unfiltered look at the Cowboys' upcoming game. Friday mornings at 6:45 and 9. Presented by AA Best Bail Bonds on 94.1. San Antonio Sports Star.
Jason Minix here from the Blitz for Underdog Fantasy, the place to play if you're a sports fan looking to win money while watching sports. And I love playing the Pick'em game at Underdog Fantasy, where you can win up to 1,000 times your money just by choosing higher or lower on player stats. Think basketball, think football. You can mix, you can match across your other favorite sports and leagues and win money watching sports. And this season, Underdog will be running a special promo or bonus almost every single day, like Profit Boost. Pump up your winnings in just a tap when you apply the boost to eligible entries. Discounts, you'll get adjusted projections on certain player stats to give you a better shot at the win, and they're basically a sure thing with their free picks. A player just has to get higher than 0.5 for that stat pick to win. All new users get a free pick. So download the app, sign up with promo code STAR, and deposit now to get up to $1,000 in bonus cash instantly. Promo code STAR. Must be 18 or over, present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org.
Are you annoyingly inattentive? Do you watch a movie and then ask a zillion questions because you weren't paying attention? Do people ask, how do you sleep at night? Then you should get a mattress from Mattress Firm. They can help anyone sleep. At Mattress Firm's Black Friday sale, get a king for the price of a queen and a free adjustable base with select Sealy beds, all with a low price guarantee. Get matched at Mattress Firm. Sleep at night. Restrictions apply. See store or website for details.
Hey guys, it's AJ Hoffman from the Morning Huddle. If you're looking for a place to play some cards, have I got one for you. SA Card House, located just off 281 at Bitters, is the best card house in San Antonio. It's a great environment, great for all skill levels, and guys, you are going to love the food and bar that's attached. Foster's Bar and Grill, they do not mess around. Go by, check them out, or check them out online at sacardhouse.com. They're open 7 days a week. Stop in, maybe I'll see you at the tables.
Progressive knows finding your new home was a dream come true. You wanted it close to town, with a picture window overlooking a yard. And you found it. Now, when you sit down to dinner, you've got front row seats too. Your neighbor's daily pickleball game. Progressive can't save you from your noisy neighbors, but we can save you money when you bundle your home and auto with us. Get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers not available in all states.
Whoa, it's you, the Capital One Bank guy.
That's what they call me.
Mind if I get a selfie?
Yeah, sure thing. Say no fees or minimums on your Capital One checking account.
Wow, that's a keeper. So, where are you heading?
I'm off to spread the good news that Capital One helps people keep more money in their wallet with no overdraft fees.
Oh, you're the best Capital One Bank guy.
Hey, mind if I get a selfie?
Sure.
Say, Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com/bank for details. Capital One NA, member FDIC.
If you get arrested, get out of jail fast by calling AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text bail to 474747 or online mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else. Don't be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you one, make sure you understand the conditions before accepting it. AA Best Bail Bonds. Nobody beats their price. They have payment plans. Call 210-225-2121 or mybestbailbonds.com.
License number 149.
South Texas home of the Dallas Cowboys. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Sunday afternoon at 3:25. Settling in after 2 on the road. The Cowboys take on the Philadelphia Eagles at home.
I like this kind of party.
Pre-game starts at 2:30. Presented by AA Best Bail Bonds and Ewald Kubota.
This is home cooking. How about them Cowboys?
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. South Texas home of the Dallas Cowboys.
Let's go.
Hi, it's Jason Minix. You're listening to the home of the Cowboys, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
All right, baby. Almost through with that hump day. Tomorrow's Small Friday, Rob.
Yeah, it dawned on me as we began the hump day that I didn't get the trash out this morning.
Oh, no. But that's your son's job.
Yeah. And maybe he did get it. I just know that I didn't.
Well, what if he doesn't? Is he in trouble again? Yeah. Good.
I mean, I don't know. I just know that it's going to start piling up.
Yeah. Can't have that.
Yeah, no, you can't have it. You got to take the trash out when you're supposed to.
And plus, it's getting to be that time of year where the wind's going to be whipping, and then what?
You know.
It's going to be trash all over the Thompson estate.
It's just one thing leads to another if you just don't do things right.
And if that doesn't get picked up,
you know,
then you become trash people.
That we become the guys that we detest.
You become trash people.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to name. I'm not going to name the island that I heard.
Doesn't matter anymore.
Thompson Island. They'll be like, oh, there's
good people.
There's a giant
good people
floating pile of trash. It's called the Thompson Estate.
Wow. I can burn it legally. I can burn mine. Y'all can't.
That's true. All right, let's do what we always do around this time. Take a look at the daily lines.
It's the Morning Huddle's look at the daily lines with AJ and Rob on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
You covered, yeah!
Daily Lines brought to you by SA Card House, San Antonio's premier poker house, located at 281 and Bitters. They got a nooner tournament today. I'll probably be playing tomorrow, is my guess. I'll throw some cards around tomorrow, so get on out there. I'll see you on the tables. Out at
threat.
SA. It's a threat the way I've been running, baby. Your boys, they call me Phil Ivey. They don't, but it'd be cool if they did.
I don't know what that would mean.
You don't know who Phil Ivey is?
Is he that little Afghani dude that looks like a baby?
No, and he's not Johnny Ringo either. He's
Why should I need to know anybody if it's
you
not
just
one of
don't
those
know
two guys?
anybody.
Evidently, I've missed
You're
out.
way out of
Who
the
is
loop.
Phil Ivey? Does
Phil
he have
Ivey's
bracelets?
like widely regarded as the greatest poker player in the world.
I thought that was that old cowboy dude.
Amarillo Slim.
Yeah, that guy.
Or Doyle Brunson.
Yeah, Doyle Brunson. I thought he was the greatest card player.
He was. Doyle Brunson is now dead. It's hard to be good at cards when you're dead.
Well,
it's hard to bluff somebody.
I said
quite
it all
honestly,
the time. I mean,
they're like, "Hey, are actions to you, Doyle?" And he just sits there.
He's holding.
Sits there. Yeah, new definition.
Was
of
he the
hold'em.
greatest of all time?
Probably not.
Probably not.
Because much like the game evolves, just like MMA, the guys who were great in the early days of MMA would be hopeless against bottom of the roster guys today because
but this is cards.
But it evolves, man. So think about how long it took Doyle Brunson to play his first 5,000 hands of poker. And then think about some kid who learned how to play on the internet playing 6 games at a time, how quickly he got to 5,000 hands of poker. And how quickly you pick up on things when you're able to get it just constant. There's an advantage there.
I will.
That's why all these kids
take
win
your word for it.
These Euro trash kids come in and win our World Series of Poker all the time.
Do they really?
Oh yeah.
They're not sending
Some
their best.
23-year-old from Iceland. Oh yep, you're the champion of the world now. Garbage. All right, let's take a look at what's going on in the world of sports today. This is a chance for you, Rob. I think this is a team you like versus a team that I think we're both out on right now. The Indiana Pacers, 5-point favorites, hosting the Orlando Magic. You trust the Magic right now with no Paolo?
Well, they've been playing better than we thought they would.
Yeah.
They're deeper than they've been, and their guard play has been enough to kind of protect some of the points. Pacers are really good. The only problem with the Pacers is Carlisle doesn't play any defense. If I was betting this game, I'd bet the over.
226.5.
I'd bet the over more than I'd bet the line.
The game of the year so far, the Detroit Pistons +1 at Charlotte. What a matchup. Everyone's going to be watching. All eyes are on this matchup, Rob.
If this was a survivor pool and it was you had to bet on one a year, one for the season, you had to bet one game for Detroit to win, this might be it.
This might have to be it.
Very well be the one time for you to go with Detroit.
They are on the road.
Yeah, doesn't matter. It is in Carolina.
All right.
It's in their weight class anyway.
Boy, imagine being a Carolina sports fan these days. Woof.
Well, I personally, as an Aggie, have watched 2 separate sports fans rush the court and the field in the last week.
Oh, that was
beating us.
And that was South Carolina.
They were, South Carolina and
they were very
Central
happy.
Florida both charged the courts or the fields in celebration of beating us. So
you feeling
who's
like
got it better than us?
Makes you feel like a champion. In an actual good game, the Warriors 6-point dogs in Boston. I think I like the Warriors the way they've been playing.
You think so?
I think so. They're like 6-1.
Yeah.
They keep on doing it. And
Boston's not as hot as they were.
Right. And eventually the Warriors are going to get hurt. That's what they do. And then they're going to fall off. But right now, while everybody's healthy, they might be on to something here, Rob.
That's a tough one. If you have to lay, that might be it, but I would look for other options.
Knicks -7 at Atlanta.
See, that might be a more appropriate one.
You like the Knicks there?
Yeah.
Cleveland -7.5 at the Pelicans.
That's another one I like, but though watch the injury report there.
New Orleans injury report is always a crapshoot. Yeah. The Lakers catching 1.5 in Memphis. Is that short?
Yeah. Did you see what we saw? Jaws.
Ja.
But have you watched Edie? The one they don't have post play in LA.
They don't.
They've chosen.
And Anthony Davis is hurt.
Yeah, they've chosen not to. Even when he's healthy, he's not. He's doing other things. If Edie continues to do it, I like Memphis here.
Now that I think about that, AD left that game hurt. That does feel short. Now that I think of that, the Bulls catching 10 points in Dallas. God, the Bulls suck.
Yeah.
They are so bad.
I'd play the player prop on Levine. What's he got? I'd look at his number.
I'll check that. OKC. How about this? OKC, a 7-point favorite in Denver. That doesn't seem right to me.
There's something going on. I know Aaron Gordon's got
he's
calf.
hurt.
He's hurt.
But if Jokic and Murray are still on the team, Denver shouldn't be a 7-point home dog to anybody in the whole world.
I'd like to see more than that. That's going to be a good game. I bet that's on the TV.
I bet it's on the tellies. That's what the British people call it. Miami plus 5.5 at Phoenix. I guess it depends on KD's mood.
Yeah, is he still mad at
or his
Stephen
feelings
A?
hurt? Yeah. Sacramento laying 11.5. They host the Raptors.
I like that.
The Raptors are really bad, and the Sixers plus 1.5 at the Clippers. It's no Embiid, but there's still Paul George. I think I like the Sixers. George and Maxey against the Clippers.
Spurs had a 26-point lead on that team in the first half. They're not very good.
They're not.
No.
So I think Sixers plus 1.5 might be my favorite of the day. Finally, San Antonio Spurs plus 6.5 at Houston, total of 214.5. Rob, with no Sohan, do the Spurs keep it entertaining tonight?
You know, as good as Wemby played the other night, and it was nearly a triple-double, one block away. Zubats played pretty well. I mean, he owned the paint, and Wemby, paraded through the mid-level and the 3-level. Sanguin has, over the last year, kind of dominated Wemby, and I expect without the help of Sohan, it's going to be tough tonight. And it's also the familiarity thing. I mean, how many times have we seen? Because we played them
3 times now.
And that's in the regular season, right? And we had a preseason game behind that. So 4 times in the last 3 weeks or 2 weeks we've gone against the Rockets. They're just more experienced. It's going to be tough to keep up. And we also have to include the fact that no Pop again, and we saw what happened there. So it doesn't look like this is going to be one of those they can keep up.
College hoops tonight. Got a couple of big-time programs playing against not-so-big-time programs, so you get a lot of lines, a lot of massive lines here. But Virginia, 17-point favorite against Campbell. I'm curious to see what Virginia looks like. They have to be faster, right?
That's exactly it. What kind of offense? They've always had talent. It's Virginia. It's ACC, but it's always been focused on the defense and that pack line defense.
Total is 128.5.
That's high,
to me, it feels like, they opened at 133.5. It's been bet down. But without Bennett there, are they going to be the same thing?
I haven't seen them. I know that they've got skill there. I just don't know if it translates to the offense. There'll certainly be a lot more possessions.
Nova minus 17. They're hosting Columbia. UConn looks for their title defense to start tonight. They are 35-point favorites against Sacred Heart. Good luck, Sacred Heart.
And they're going to cover.
I'm sure you guys will be just fine after this. LSU, 23-point favorites against UL Monroe.
Backyard battle.
Indiana takes on SIU Edwardsville, Indiana minus 27. Pepperdine minus 6 against Western Illinois. Boise laying 17 against Oakland. The Georgetown Hoyas. Oh, God, Georgetown laying 14 points against Lehigh. I don't know if Georgetown should lay 14 against anybody ever, but they are. Auburn laying 16.5, hosting Vermont. Arkansas minus 14.5, hosting Lipscomb.
Take that.
You like Arkansas?
Yeah, take that.
Calipari show.
Georgetown, Ed Cooley's recruiting well. They're better than they were.
Okay.
Just watch
just like can't get worse.
No, exactly. They can't
In
get
the
worse.
words of Jerry Jones, can't get worse.
Georgetown was playing. Cooley was playing with other people's guys for a couple years.
He was playing with Patrick Ewing's guys. Patrick Ewing, not a hell of a coach.
No, so I think that. I don't know what they're going to look like, but I do like this number of Georgetown on this.
South Dakota welcomes in Texas A&M Commerce. South Dakota, a 10.5-point favorite there. And Creighton taking on UT Rio Grande Valley. Creighton minus 31. That's a big number, but
too much.
Creighton, they've lost some pieces. So.
Speaking of, and while they lost, Tamuk, A&M Corpus Christi up at Purdue the other night.
Gave them hell.
They acquitted themselves quite well.
Like I said, what is Purdue? We don't know what Purdue's going to look like. That was crazy.
Bunch of point guards running around up there.
We got some college foots tonight. Maction was solid last night. Tonight we got Ohio at Kent State. God, Kent State plus 19.5. This should be an auto bet. 19.5 at home in the MAC.
Yeah.
Kent State is so bad. They are like the Carolina Panthers to me. They're unbettable. There's no way. They are in my power ratings, they are the bottom of the bottom. They're the worst team in the whole wide country. And I can't take them. But I do like Northern Illinois against Western Michigan. Northern Illinois laying 2 at Western. Northern Illinois after that Notre Dame win. They've had some tough losses, but it's been where they outplayed their opponent and just kind of some bad stuff happened. Silly,
NIU is fast. They're a fast team. I wouldn't want to be behind them.
I like NIU to get the job done on the road against Western Michigan. It looks like there's going to be weather in that part of the country, in the MAC part of the country, that part of the country where no one really wants to live, but no one ever really leaves when they do live there.
Can't afford to leave.
That's an unfortunate part of the world, but, if you're in Michigan or Ohio or, Indiana, God bless you. We need you guys. And you got all those electoral votes.
So now we don't care.
So,
We'll go away for 4 years. We'll come back and find you next.
Yeah, but politicians will start caring about you in 3.5 years.
Wisconsin, Michigan, you can shut the hell up. We don't care about you anymore. In Bucks County, Pennsylvania, shut up and get back in your house.
Yeah, you guys are back to
We're sick of you.
You're back to being plebes for the next 3.5 years. But, enjoy. I hope you enjoyed your moment. I hope you enjoyed your moment in the sun. And just a quick preview of the Thursday night football game tomorrow, which you can hear right here on our little radio station. The Ravens going to be 6-point favorites hosting the Bengals and the Dallas Cowboys, who you'll also hear on our little radio station on Sunday. They are +7 hosting the Eagles. Eagles -7 in Jerry's house.
That number's going to get bigger.
You think so?
You better get it now.
And Lions -3.5 at Houston.
Tonight with the Rockets, without Sohan, there's been a lot of call for a lot more Mamu.
I would like to see that, too.
Yeah,
I'd like to see that more than Keldon.
I think so, and I think Keldon is the logical response to this, but the way Mamu has been playing, he's doing the things that we want Keldon to do. He's already doing them.
Yeah.
I mean, if we need a guy for activity, the guy that's going to provide bounce and a spark and to go and get a ball and dive on the floor and do all those things, the things that we loved Keldon to do 3 years ago, Mamu's already doing it. And I think given the chance, given the opening in the roster without Sohan and before Vassell gets here, I'd like to see a lot of Mamu tonight. I'd like to see him on Sengun. I'd like to see him running the court. I want to see him doing the bringing the ball up kind of stuff that Wemby can do, and Mamu's been asked. I think if there's going to be a variable tonight that could change some stuff, I want to see Mamu get some starter minutes in that Sohan spot.
Okay. Yeah, I'd like to see that too. I don't know that he'll – I don't know who's going to start, and it's hard to even –
start, but I'm talking about the minutes. I want to see 15, 20 minutes above his average tonight.
I want to see how they look like from a coaching standpoint. If the rotation's different,
That's going to be a work in progress,
yeah.
man.
All right, friends, that does it for the little program. We'll be back tomorrow at 6 and do it all over again.
Even better.
Maybe, hopefully, even better. Blitz comes up at 2 o'clock. We'll be back at 6. Thanks for listening, friends.
On your ride to work, it's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson. KTFM